And good afternoon. Welcome back to the TSF Entertainment Channel. It is your boy Retro CG in the building. Join in tonight with the Really Be TV podcast in the building.
Hey.
We got Jacka Jordans in the building.
Yo, what's good?
What's good, family? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Everything.
Shout out to the members in the chat, the best chat on YouTube. Hope you guys had a great week. All right, so we are here to talk about Power Book 3. It's Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 306, Into the Darkness. What did y'all think about the episode?
I thought it was a pretty decent episode. I have a really big gripe, but I'll wait till we get to it. But it was a decent episode.
Yeah, I think we all got concerns. I just voiced my concerns backstage.
Yeah,
well, at least a couple.
concerns.
So that was just a couple. I got some other ones, but we get into that.
I got some concerns too. We got a list of concerns. We got some things to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. DeMarcus says it was a solid 8. I gave it a 9. Jack gave it an 8.
I guess I give it about an 8. Again, once I get y'all my concern, it's going to drop down because I'm going to wait and see if y'all talk me off the ledge. If y'all can't give me a good enough explanation, it's going to drop down more than an 8, but I'm going to give it a solid 8.
We gonna talk you off.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So let's get into this thing. All right. So the episode description goes off. Dangerous secrets are revealed as Famous unburdens himself to Kanan, and Rock finally tries to make amends with Lou. Marvin struggles as his role as a stage dad, and Howard attempts to get closer to the task force. Big mistake, Howard. Should have stayed your ass where you was at. Big mistake.
Absolutely.
Big mistake.
He made a lot of mistakes, though. We're going to get to that, too.
All right, so the episode kicks off. Rock is coming home. You got 50 Cent on the narration, giving the narration about, what fear does and knowing when it's your time to go and whether or not you are afraid for when it's your time to go or you're aware of the fact that it's your time to go. So I thought that was a really good narration. Rock's in here trying to check her mail and whatnot. You got this at the door. And I'm like, okay, does everyone in New York know where Rock lives?
I think she was beaten with the butt of the gun the way she was trying to.
What's good, Shade in the City? Now, y'all know y'all girls can come on up here. Joining the panel, we got the lovely Miss Honey in the building. Shade in the City.
Up,
Y'all
Miss
girls,
Honey?
if y'all want to come on up, y'all can come on up.
I don't
What's
understand
up,
how
Miss Honey?
everybody know Rock address. Like, is it in the yellow
I
pages?
know where Rock
Like,
live at.
For real, I know where Rock lives at. I go
I
to
know
Rock
where
House
Rock.
right
I was
now.
going to pull up yesterday. She
I mean,
was
for
good.
real. I mean, so initially when I first saw it, I thought it was Ronnie probably stalking her, but we realized that it's Pernessa at the door with a weapon. And she looked like she ain't slept in days. She going through. She trying to figure out what Rock has done with Neek. Rock tells her, listen, I don't know where your Neek is at. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, put the weapon down. Let's talk about this thing and whatnot. Pernessa Sheen trying to hear that, but we learned a very important thing in this. Okay, go ahead, Jack. I know you're
I'm going to let you go ahead. I just said,
We learned a very important clue here, which is something that we have suspected all along, that we've said. She accused Rock of getting rid of Neek so she could steal his organization like she did High Post.
Mm-hmm.
I brought that up in my review. I'm glad. I knew y'all was going to catch it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it was just her paranoia suspicions. I truly do think that Rock had something to do with setting High Post up.
When I watched it, I texted you and I was like, do y'all really think that she set him up? And it's a strong possibility, man, because that's just the way the Rock move.
Yeah.
Which is all the more reason. I know I'm the broken record, but it's all the more reason why couldn't they have looped up Ronnie in that? And that's why Ronnie, really don't F with Rock like that. Like why couldn't they have looped Ronnie into that?
You know what? They should have, because that would have gave more insight of why Ronnie just despised, like the thought of Rock just drives him crazy.
Get on in him, Miss Honey. What's your thoughts?
it didn't surprise me, but she didn't unalive Unique. So it stands to reason that she didn't unalive High Post. Like people think that about women. Not saying that she's not that bad, because we know that she is pretty diabolical when she wants to be. But you have to kind of think about age and all of that. I also don't know why it matters. I mean, does it just solidify how diabolical she is? Like, what is the
Yes.
point in bringing it up? Like, I don't get the coalition. I mean, is that right? Correlation. I don't get the
Yeah.
correlation.
I
Okay.
think it just
Go
kind of
ahead, Jack.
shows. Yeah, I think it just kind of shows how far that or what people think the distance that Rock will go in order to get what she wants. That's what I think it really kind of just shines a light on. I mean, we already as an audience kind of just know that, but I just think that it just shines a little bit more light that she'd go to any distance to get what she want and to get to where she got to go. So she probably thinking like, hey, you took Unique out, which it really doesn't make any sense because Unique really wasn't up and running like that, but it makes sense because it just adds on to what we believe or who we believe Rock is.
So, Miss Honey, I agree with you. I don't necessarily think that she unalived High Post. However, I do think she set him up to be unalived by someone else so she could get him out of the way. I'm going to even go as far as to say that I believe that she may have had something to do with Marvin's time away in Elmira. And I think what they're doing is they're trying to plant these seeds of doubt about us with Rock because Rock is a likable character. And I think they're doing the same thing with her as they've done with Ghost, where they're trying to put all her
Set her up
flaws
as
out
the
there.
ultimate villain.
Yes, so everyone can just hate her. Because I think part of it is trying to justify Kanan's disdain for her as well as Lou's disdain for her. I understand Kanan's part more so than Lou. Lou is just big question marks for me with Lou.
I mean, going back to your question, I agree with you on that too. With Lou, I said that in my review. We can get there, talk about that when we get there. But Miss Honey, I'm gonna say this. I agree with you. It only matters if they're gonna make it an issue. If you're just gonna throw it out there as part of her dialogue and you're never gonna bring it back and you're never gonna connect it to anything else, then it was unnecessary to put it in there. I would like to think that the writers put it in there because at some point, maybe not this season, but at some point, they're going to swing it back around and connect all of these dots. That's what I would like to think. But I agree. If they're not going to make it connect, if they're not going to connect it to something more, then you're right. It was just unnecessary dialogue, you know.
Okay, Shade in the City says they're ready for Lou to go. We're going to talk about that.
After what he did this episode, I'm ready for him to go too, honestly.
Yeah, we got some
I
things to talk
hate the
about.
way he's doing his character, but we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we got some things. Planet Paperboy, what's up? Hadn't seen you in a while. What's going on, fam?
He was my hero.
Yeah. So Rock disarms Pernessa, and there's a little bit of tussle. So you finally got what you wanted to see, Miss Honey. You got to see Rock do a little tussle.
Yang, a little
She was in a beautiful photo. Like that was easy. That was light work.
That was light work.
Yeah, it was a little light, like Molly Whopping.
Yeah, just a little
light diet whopping.
Yep. But she even tended to her after she disarmed her. And, she told her, like, listen, calm down. Start from the beginning. Tell me what's up. Why are you here? What's going on? We learned in this situation that Unique has been missing for over a week. Nobody has heard from him. We also learned that the tailor shop is a mess. Ronnie has not tried to attempt to clean up, get rid of evidence, anything like that. He left it as is. So everyone is under the impression that Unique is unalive or missing. And they just went over the top this episode to use any and every opportunity with every character to remind us that Unique is unalive.
Yeah.
I think they had to because there was too many questions about Ghost.
Well, he's going to be one of those characters that never is unalive.
Like Ghost is like Tupac.
Right. But here's my issue. And I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but just for a little bit. Later on when Rock is talking to Howard, and he says the same thing. Oh, the tailor shop was a mess. We even found a pipe that had brain matter on it.
Fingerprint.
Ain't nobody dusted for fingerprints. Like, I understand that I understand the point they were trying to make. Oh, the police don't care about Unique. They glad
I
he's
was gonna
gone.
get to that
But
when we got there.
listen,
But
that is
It's still a murder. It's still a
right.
murder.
It's still a murder, and that's basic 101. Like, they didn't have to put no whole lot of effort. If you found a lead pipe that had brain matter on it, you literally have the murder weapon. You mean to tell me y'all couldn't even dust it for fingerprints? And at the bare minimum, it's gonna pop because this dude is a whole
he's a
felon.
felon.
Like, at the bare minimum, and that's where they lost me. I'm gonna be honest. That's where I was like, come on, y'all. Like,
Talking about Unique, right?
you didn't even have to, because the thing is, y'all didn't have to add that part into Howard's dialogue. Just saying, oh, well, the tailor shop was a mess. It was blood. We just assumed. But to add that part, now I'm looking at you like, so you mean to tell me you found a murder weapon and ain't nobody dusted for prints? Because we know that if Ronnie didn't even bother to try to clean up, he certainly didn't wipe off the pipe. Let's be clear, he didn't.
Or why just he didn't take it with him and dispose of it with Unique? You know,
That
I
would
mean,
make
they-
sense.
Yeah, they ain't found his body yet. I mean, damn.
yeah. Shade in the City. I'm assuming that she probably was blowing Howard's phone up because when he pulled up, he was like, "What you want now?" So she probably was blowing his phone up till he answered. But yeah, he did say he wasn't going to take her calls anymore.
What I don't understand is, somehow you are fumbling around. The Alphabet Boys are fumbling around. They can't really make heads or tails. They've called in Rock and she, kind of fell through. At the same time, you start looking at the people that she knows, the people that are in the same neighborhood as they are. I mean, these were mobsters that were killed at her house, same mobsters that were at the Basie. And you've got Dean gone, and you've got Unique gone, and y'all come up with Marvin.
We're gonna talk about it. I got something for that.
Look at it too much because it's a scab, and if you pick at it, I mean, it'll never heal.
I got something for that, Miss Honey. I got something for that. All right. So when you saw Rock and Pernessa sitting here talking, you could just see that Rock was just more statuesque over Pernessa. She was just like Pernessa, like a little kid sitting next to Rock.
Absolutely.
She
It
was a
showed just how
ragamuffin.
inexperienced she was, and I'm thinking to myself, you married? Well, you laid up with a gangster. You laid up with a thugster.
I mean, and he didn't even tell her how to escape. Like, if I don't come home for 3 days, baby,
What's your emergency plan?
this is what you need to do.
Yes. Well, Ronnie ran off with her emergency plan. That was her life insurance policy.
I got some. Look, I got something for that too. Again, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but there's absolutely no reason in the world why Ronnie was able to find any money in that house. Now,
Yeah.
I understand the jewelry. Maybe you don't give a damn about the jewelry, but listen, I knew where Unique hid his money. We saw him go under the mattress 20 times with money. You knew where the money was. That man ain't came home in a week. Rock told you he was dead, and Rock even told you that Ronnie probably was the one that did it. Ronnie shouldn't have been able to find a quarter under the couch.
No.
Or you there. Or you there.
Or you
Right,
there.
or
That
you
was
there.
my thing.
Are you
She
there?
already done told you that, hey, like when they had the conversation and Ronnie was like, well, Ronnie ain't said nothing. You shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
You should have been halfway to California at this point. What
Listen,
are
Listen,
you
listen,
doing?
when she
Meemaw
walked in
house
and he
down
had
You
there.
could
it
have been back
Right.
at your mama house with that
Right.
baby, and whatever
Yeah.
whatever money that Unique left you is supposed to be in a closet in a shoebox underneath 4 or 5 other boxes that, I mean, like, nobody is supposed to even know.
You
But you,
need to
like
go
you said,
visit
you
your
supposed to
sister
already
in
been gone.
Paducah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
walked in and he was at that dresser. I would have been like, it's too late to get your money then. I would have been like Homer Simpson in the bush, baby. I would have just
Nah, she should have reached in her purse and pulled out that gat and started
Right.
blasting.
It shouldn't have been no question.
Rock told
I
her
mean, but we already
listen,
saw she wasn't about that life.
when she raised the question, what is Ronnie saying? And Pernessa was like, oh, no, Ronnie wouldn't do this. He
Here's
was
the
so
thing.
defensive
And
of
here's the
me.
thing.
And
Why
she
was
was
she
like,
like,
listen, brothers change, so do people. Listen, take this weapon, keep it loaded, and keep the safety off. And keep your head on a swivel because
but why was she
whoever
like,
did Unique is still out there.
this is for when Unique get back. This jury is for Unique get back. you kind of knew he wasn't coming back. Like, was she just being naive? Like, was she just be like, you knew he wasn't coming back?
I
Yeah.
So why
blame
was
you,
she even
me. I
worried about
blame you,
whether or not
me.
the
Like, you can't be a drug dealer and don't prepare your family. They don't know where stuff is, your private stash. Like, this is the life of a drug dealer. Like, go see my boy Bop Bop Bop. If I get locked up, if I get hemmed up, this to
Absolutely.
bail me out. Like, it's a whole
Absolutely.
system that
And if
happens.
I do not come home, if you do not hear from me in such and such days, here is the exit plan strategy. Get up
Also,
out.
you know my brother ain't right. If anything,
well,
jump off with me and my
in
business.
fairness, in fairness, when it comes down to like stuff like that, you know, like jail or something like that, they kind of plan on. But when it comes out of stuff like that, it might not be no contingency plan in there. But yet and still, they had a conversation when they was sitting at the table with the Rock that your brother is like his brother is questionable. So why are you sitting around and when he's there, how is it that you didn't clean out the house and you move forward when he already
That's
said
why
that
I
he was
say I
questionable?
blame
And
you.
then you sit here like, well, the jury is here for when he gets back. You know he ain't coming back. You said that Taylor joint was messed up.
Yeah. I believe she
Poor
loves
David,
him
I can't
too,
with you
sport.
with your picture. He got a picture of Ronnie up. I
Yeah,
can't
I saw that.
support Gabe. You were fan for a minute to support Gabe, and now you
I
got that
agree
picture of
with him.
Ronnie up.
I think
Oh
she
no.
loves him too, but I think he did her a disservice, especially how things jumped off at the Chinese restaurant. Like he shoulder bumped him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was hella
He did
aggressive. I
shoulder
would have
check
went
him.
home
Shoulder
and been
check him
like,
is
"Get
like a
your
mush.
stuff. I don't know what's going on with my brother, but I need you to get your stuff and get everything and hang out at your mom's for a minute until I can get this straight with my brother."
But
Especially after she had to raise two other concerns prior to that she was uncomfortable being in the
well,
house with him.
Unique was naive though.
Me
Unique
and
was
well,
naive. Was saying
yeah,
that he
Unique
was
was
saying that's the
definitely
way he
naive
Yeah,
was.
because he
He
it's
kept
said that's
playing
just
definitely
the
it
way
off.
he
Unique's
is.
bad.
He kept playing it off to, oh, that's how Ronnie is or
That's
whatever.
just
So
how
yeah, he
he is.
definitely didn't see it coming. She
Hmm.
did. It just
Let
like
me
Really
say
B
this.
said from like first day out, like she should have been packed her things and got her and her baby out of there. So I
Yeah,
agree with that.
absolutely.
I don't feel sorry for her getting robbed. She should
let,
have been
let me
gone.
say this, Xavier. I understand what you're saying about Pranessa not being smart, but let me explain something. And I know y'all, everybody always accuses me of knowing too much about the drug game when I say stuff, but I grew up in that era. Let me explain something. No hustler's hoe walk around and don't know what the don't know understand what it is. If I paid you, because back then we was paging. I'm sorry, they was paging them.
Oh, you said it right the first time. Oh, you said it right the first time.
But if you don't hit back, you know what I'm saying? If you don't hit back, then you got to put the contingency plan in place. This man been gone
Right.
a week. She know the code. Now, whether she wants to accept it or not, she know what it is. And you're not gonna sit here and tell me
He's
it
either
wasn't
locked up or
no
dead.
plan. Unique told her, look, if this happened, here's my lawyer. Do this and do that. Like, you know. Now,
He's
whether
either
she
locked up or
chose to
dead.
do it or accept it, that's another kind of conversation. But she know.
Yeah.
She know back from the jacket incident. Remember they tried to set him up and put him in.
Exactly.
When they were
Yeah,
staying
he
in the
gave her the
penthouse. Right.
411 then.
Yeah. All right. So you got Lou over here in his makeshift studio in the back of Shirley's place with Famous in the booth. We all know, even though the track was dope, for those of you who are in our broadcast channel on Instagram, I posted the song a couple weeks ago. So it's out there if you want to listen to the song. It's also on Lionsgate Music on YouTube. So if you want to go listen to the full track, it's also on Apple Music too if you want to listen to it. But Famous is we actually saw Famous back in the studio. What would prompt him to want to do this song? I don't quite understand the reason behind it. I'm a little irritated with Lou as well because Lou, you're listening to the lyrics of these songs and you don't have any questions. Famous, what you don't did?
I'm real irritated with Lou, man, because
I'm super
Lou knows the
irritated.
code
I'm
of the
also
streets.
super irritated at the fact that this is your best friend. Your nephew is his best friend. Was Kanan involved with this situation? Like you sitting here rapping about a unaliving, and you have no questions. You're encouraging him to speak about it. Am I the only one that thought that was really odd?
I think Lou is just so detached from reality because Lou knows the code of the streets. Like he's pretty much snitching, you know.
Yeah,
And
he's
he said,
snitching.
and he says yeah, you gotta let that out on the mic, and you got that poison up in you, and you gotta get it out of you. You're confessing. He said you're confessing. Like
And from
what?
Streets Need a Body, he knows the repercussions putting
Exactly.
on a song. Like he knows.
Lou, why would you even put this out in the atmosphere? This is asking for trouble.
I think
This
Lou
is
got
asking for
blinders
trouble.
on.
So I think it's a combination of what Famous was conflicted with in this scene right here. I think he was bothered by the whole Freddie situation, but he was also bothered by the whole weapon in Kanan's backpack. So when Lou gave him that advice, it gave him the courage to go home and tell tell Kanan what he had done or what he participated in doing. Because he had already told Kanan about Freddie.
We spent so much time on this. We did. We spent so much unnecessary time on this. I mean, I see that it was the catalyst, kind of led us to these certain points, right? Like he may never have gotten the nerve to confess the things that he did confess if he didn't have this conversation. Got it. But we didn't need Fame talking about. I mean, I think Fame is a whack lyricist, by the way, but okay. We didn't need him talking about I don't need to do anything. It just comes. You can't even get yourself dressed in the morning. Like I didn't understand. What's the point?
Shade in the city, we gonna beat on Lou for a little while. No, it's your dude, but we gonna beat on Lou for a little while. We got some things that we're irritated with Lou about.
Lou is done. His days are numbered.
Howard is definitely on the setup.
Yeah, they set him up. They absolutely are setting him up.
They are absolutely setting him up. So speaking of which, Howard goes in once again trying to finesse the task force into any leads, any information. They pretty much told him that, listen, we feel like this Crown Camacho is a red herring. We don't really believe that. And he was like, well, do you have any other suspects? He was like, well, we're on an as needed basis with sharing information and you're not needed. So dismiss yourself from here. Which goes back to what me and Really B was saying. It would have made much more sense for them to have pinned this on Cartier. If they would have pinned this on Cartier, it would have been an open shut case.
It would have made so much more sense.
Wow.
Especially if she would have spun the block. Especially if she would have spun the block and went back to Trademark them and got Trademark them to add in on to it. Speak up, testify. You owe me a solid for going to work with Juliana. I need you to go down here to these Alphabet boys and co-sign this, that Cartier was this, which he was. I mean, it wasn't a lie. He really was that. But, he wasn't responsible for what happened, but it would have just been much more easy to pin it all on Cartier. I don't understand why they went with Crown.
Yeah, Crown was so flimsy.
It was flimsy. Yeah, it was totally flimsy. Oh, they gonna find that out. I was thinking that too. Planet Paperboy. They gonna find out that Howard deleted Bert.
Yeah, I mean, they're just letting him dig this hole for himself.
And see how deep he can dig it.
Yeah. I mean, he always looks like he just slept in his car. Like he looks bad. He's literally not working on anything else. Look at him. He's rough dry.
No other cases.
Okay. And remember how the tenacity he had, and he was supposed to be, sick from CA, and it was this detriment. He had such tenacity, right? Like here he's coming across. I don't know. It's time. I don't know how much more he can do, but with them weaving everybody together, him going into, this new division, he's definitely they're letting him, hang himself.
I don't necessarily think they know he deleted Bert. To me, they're not even investigating that case. If they are, they're not talking about it.
The only reason I think that they know about Bert, they're not sure, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the only reason I will say this is because the girlfriend, we don't know what she told her after she said, listen, if anything happens to me, We don't know what that next conversation was. The depth of it. So they could just be trying to get enough on this dude to tie it all together, and they're just trying to see how many more people is involved in it. Or they're lame. They didn't even investigate a bloody scene at the tailor shop, or they're just, I don't know.
I think when it comes down to the wire, all of it's going to be looped in to what they're going to pin on Howard.
Yeah, I think they're done with Burke. I think they bought it that she did it to herself because of everything that was going on. Like, I don't think they have any suspicions. Even her daddy didn't have any suspicions. He was like, "Don't come to me with that. My daughter, like, I don't think they have any." Now, I think when they set Howard up, it's going to lead to it, but I don't think they have any suspicions about Burke.
I agree with that. I think once they pin everything on Howard, I think all roads are going to lead back to Howard, because if you think about it, they got a lot to uncover with Howard. He put a baby in Rock when she was 16. He was running an illegal CI off the book. He deleted his partner. You could almost call him a co-conspirator to Rock's organization. So, I mean, they got a lot to pin on Howard when it all comes down to it. So
he lied about his shooting.
So now, did Kanan ever give him bone marrow?
I think they answered that at the beginning of season 2. I think they said a donor. It was somebody on the police force, wasn't it?
Yeah, somebody on the police. Once he got shot. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody gave him the marrow. It didn't come from Kanan, but it came from like somebody on the police force or something. I think they said.
Huh.
Yeah, a cop donated it.
That rough, dry suit.
This dude right here, I don't like him. They casted this guy very well. They casted him very well, because even though you only have this little bits of scenes with him, he is so unlikable.
And he's probably bald as the day is long.
I was gonna say the toupee too.
I know. I was like, what in the Max Hedron is going on here?
Like a squirrel sitting on top of his head. Famous gets up the nerve to go home to his house that he has keys to.
The lease is in his name.
The lease is in his name. Kanan's in there on the phone, bitching and moaning at somebody about not getting.
Now you messing up my business, and if you don't get it right, I'm gonna have to take my money elsewhere.
Miss calls, money. Miss calls, miss money. As soon as he hangs up the phone with whoever he's talking to, he try to check Famous. Where you been?
You go stand there.
You gonna help.
Yeah,
why are you going so hard on the dude? Why are you going so hard at this man? Every scene that Kanan and Famous is in right now, he is just going extra hard at Famous. And Famous is
coming across very aggressive.
I don't know when the switch. I don't know when the switch flipped.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
See this look right here? This is why I said this gave me right, because he totally dominates him. He totally bullies him. He totally just manipulates him. And then Ronnie turns around and does the same thing to him and puts him on the stroll. Right?
Like, exactly. He acting like Famous daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, like he his daddy. And look at Fame. Fame is playing the role because he is like,
it looked like he wanted to scream out.
Yeah, he was in surprise this whole conversation. What? I
mean, Miss
Rock. Like, he's like a nervous housewife. Like he doesn't know if he's gonna get backhanded any moment. And this puts you in mind that Kanan
is going to delete him.
I mean, he's just coming across as a bully and aggressive. Here's what I don't like. I understand that he talks a lot more like 50, right? But I don't know if even 50 had an idea, remember what his voice was like before he got, plus this isn't 50's story, really. Like, it's just like bits and pieces of his life. but certainly this didn't happen in his real life. So I don't have a problem with how he's talking. I do have a problem with how he's giving me power, Kanan. In his youth, he's giving me power, Kanan. It's not the voice, it's just that same kind of
The mannerisms.
energy.
It's the mannerisms.
Yeah, it's the mannerisms, and he is like when he was walking up to him, you guys. So you let my mother in here. My mother came in here. You let her. The way he was walking up on him, I was like, he's gonna strike him.
I think the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem is that Famous is not like Kanan. You know, like even from the beginning, like when they went and handled the issue with Buck 20, it just was kind of like me and D Wiz gonna take care of this. You know, Famous is not built for that life, and Kanan is trying to put him in a position where he needs that sidekick, and he wants Famous to be that for him. And Famous is not built for it, and he's almost like upset that Famous is not built for that life. That's really on Kanan because you try to make him to be something that he's not. So that's really the only switch is because he's just not. He did tell him that, but he's still trying to force that life onto him because Kanan don't have nobody else. It's like Famous supposed to be my right hand man, so he's supposed to be rolling with whatever it is that I'm doing. And
but
since he ain't rolling with whatever it is he's doing,
when he tried to take the block back with him, when streets need about like he's known it for a minute.
But he don't. But the problem is he doesn't care. He needs a right hand man. D Wiz ain't there. D Wiz would have been his right hand man if he was there about this life because D Wiz they already made it clear that D Wiz was about this life. He said in the beginning in the first season, you got some people that's about that life, like D Wiz. You got some people that's not about that life, like Famous. And I think he just
so they got rid of the wrong.
Yeah, I think he's just mad that Famous ain't about that life when they, when Famous is on his own. He figured he should be hustling with him, and that ain't the case. Famous just want to rap and smoke weed.
So Kanan tells him he got 5 minutes to pack his things and get out, and that if he's there when he get back, he gonna have a real problem. So I'm scary too.
I don't understand how you get kicked out of your own house. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's so deep.
We said it offline too. Like you should have got socked in the face.
And to be honest, I do understand why Kanan is mad, and I said it when it happened. It's no way in the world that I'm letting. It'd be one thing that I'm too scared to stand up to Rock. All right, that's cool. I accept that. But the minute you come home, I'm gonna tell you, bruh, your mama can't. I know you told me don't let your mama in the house, but she pushed past me. She got up in here. She trying to set you up. She put something in your bag. Handle it however you need to handle it. Just don't put my name in it. Tell her you found it. Tell her you know what I mean? Because let's be clear, you pick up a bag. All of a sudden, it's got some added weight. It never occurred to you to check to find out what's going on with your bag.
So you just as responsible yourself.
Well, I ain't gonna say he's just as responsible, but it could have been just as simple as that he picked up the bag and he felt the weight. He could have confronted his mother off of that. Because you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have to throw Famous under the bus to confront his mother. And I'm saying, as his friend, there's nowhere in the world that I would have ever let him walk out the door, especially knowing what we're doing. We're involved in illegal activity. The police. I just got picked up by the police. You mean to tell me I'm gonna let you walk out the door? Like,
I agree, Cubstar.
I do too, Cubstar.
I don't know. I don't think we're being too nice on Famous, and I don't think he necessarily
not that, but he is lazy. Like he's
definitely lazy, but I don't think
because
the
thief. Remember, his mom threw him out for stealing out of her purse.
Yeah, the only benefits that Famous want is to be able to get high. Like he just wants to build something.
No.
He don't want to be
No. You act like Famous is out here wearing, MCM suits and driving cars.
No.
All Famous wants is to not have an eviction notice on his apartment and to be able to get high. He really has no aspirations. So I don't think. I mean, when you say benefits, I mean I know technically the benefits are that Kanan can pay the bills, but he was just as happy for them to go like you said, steal something and go pawn it. He didn't really give a damn. But he's been very clear that this ain't how he want to make money.
That's true, but he has also been begging Kanan from inception to hustle up this rent money. So keep in mind, they were out there moving product before this. They even got into this apartment situation. So with Kanan is like picking up where we left off at, because when he was out there moving the product through the tapes, through the mixtapes on the corner or whatever, he's been down to do whatever it takes to get that rent money as long as he ain't got to do it. long as he
I don't
ain't
think
doing
he. I was about to say. I don't think he necessarily wanted to do that though.
he
But
had
I
no
think
choice,
he,
or he was gonna be
like he
homeless.
get, like he don't have any choice. So I don't think he necessarily just enjoying the benefits, just sitting back and just living. Like I'm gonna really be on that. I think he just, I think it comes to where push meet shove, and he just got to do what he need to do to make rent.
Like Rock say, they both have some accountability.
Yeah. Oh, Kanan is not innocent in all this. As much as he tried to sit up and
Far from it.
play the victim, Kanan is really
No, he's an opportunist.
yes.
He's a consummate opportunist, which gives
Yes.
him that pimp vibe. To
Yes.
me, it's just even the way he talked to Paul, which he should have, even the way he deal with the dudes on the street, which
Paul
that's
Wilder.
He
like
should
to
have.
handle it.
Yeah,
It's just it's coming across real pimpish.
So the girls, they got a good performance. They got an audition for some record execs. They did a good performance or whatever. Marvin sitting there, the only parent that's there. Why are you even there, Marvin?
Right.
Go
Why
home,
was
Marvin.
he there?
Well, go home, Marvin. Why are you even there?
He was just trying to be supportive. As a father, I get it. He was just trying to be supportive.
Yeah.
He
Well,
probably
support from
drove
the
her.
outside.
He probably drove her there and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna watch."
There
He
was no reason for
supposed
him
to
to be in
sit
that
in the
room.
back.
Y'all see the Dreamgirls poster in the background?
Yo, I didn't even peep that.
Crystal's
Nah, I
Effie.
didn't even.
Crystal's Effie. Crystal's Effie. Oh my goodness. All right. So they got a performance or audition for the record executives or whatever. And after the performance is over, Marvin gives them a standing ovation, tries to offer them some water, and say, listen, I don't know what y'all got to talk about. Y'all got everything y'all need right here. Y'all need to put my daughter out front as a lead. Jukebox is mortified at this point. She is so embarrassed. She is beyond embarrassed. She dragged Marvin ass out there in the hallway and said, go home before you screw this up for me. Like, I get it. Got it. Thanks, Dad. Go home. So I like how she handles Marvin sometimes.
He meant well.
He meant well. Yeah, he meant well.
He did.
Yeah.
He meant well. Yeah. He goes back in, and old girl, what's her name? Aisha?
Yeah.
Aisha is trying to, console her or, say, your dad is just being supportive or whatever. He has faith in you and blah, 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 blah. We talked about this on Thursday. And I think me and Miss Honey are somewhat on the same page with this. I can't help but feel like this girl is playing both sides, whether she's doing it intentionally or not. But it's like you laying all over this girl. You know that, to me, it's just sending the wrong message that, I can be with you and your cousin at the same time. I mean, it's just the vibe.
I mean, she seemed real free-spiritish. That's all.
I don't know. I mean, time will tell. I don't. It don't read like that to me, but time will tell. We'll see.
Me either, but we'll see.
Well,
I mean, girls are naturally close anyway.
I don't think that she's doing it purposely. But I think that she's just that naive, that she's just that free-spirited, that she doesn't realize it herself. She doesn't realize that she is driving a wedge between these two cousins. She doesn't realize that she is the catalyst that's driving a wedge between these two cousins. We'll get into it more when we get to the club. So Lady Diddy comes over and she's like, I don't know what y'all in here arguing about, because Crystal came up and she made a comment about Juke's dad not knowing what he's talking about or whatever. And Juke was like,
blew her shit up.
I'll muck you up right now.
Yeah, should have fired off.
Juke
was like, I'll muck you up right now. What?
Yeah,
and do you realize that Juke is the biggest out of them? Like, she's like Rock with Pernessa. She's bigger.
Juke should have got her together like she got my man together outside
Juke
the
got her
church.
together. Juke got her together. Lady Diddy comes over and says, I don't know what y'all arguing about. Y'all must be arguing about this sad ass dancing. But she does light into them, but what she's saying is valid. Like,
I agree.
Y'all here arguing, but one of y'all need to step up and be the lead.
100% agree.
I'm not going to choose it. You're going to have to show me which one of you earned that spot. And I think it should be Juke.
Well, I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that what she was trying to say was Juke is the better singer. Like, If the other girl, if the prima donna was the better singer, I don't think it would be an issue because she already act like it's supposed to be hers, and that's what she said. She said you act like it's already yours. But when she was talking to Juke, she was trying to let Juke know, listen, you're really the person that needs to be up front, but you gotta want it.
I agree.
I don't think that Jukebox is a hater. You have to understand that Juke isn't. She doesn't exude that confidence. She knows that she's talented, but everyone has pretty much told her that this ain't gonna take her nowhere. So she's a little reticent about, embracing this. Going back to what we always say about Juke's character, nothing good lasts long for Juke. So, she's kind of hesitant about putting her all into this because she knows all roads are going to lead to disappointment. So I can feel her not coming in. She's got that humble spirit about herself where she's not trying to come in and take over.
Hung back.
She's always hung back.
That's why she's able to peep everything. She's always been the person that hung back.
Yes.
She's just so reserved.
I like that about her, though. I like that about her. She doesn't react to first thought. She just sit back and peep game. Now, we've all been going back and forth about this, but I think we're all on the same page that we know that this group is not going to last. I think what's going to end up happening is she's going to end up going off with Crystal and doing something with her.
Could be.
Well, like I said, we do learn in this episode that she gets accepted for the ASVAB. She passes the ASVAB.
Yep.
So she really has got a choice to make. It just depends on. Remember, she started all of this because she said, "I need to get the heck out of New York."
New York.
So
I think Crystal has the confidence, and she's definitely going to put in the most effort. And effort is going to be talent any day of the week. So she probably is going to put.
Crystal's going to end up on the rock. I mean, not Crystal. Aisha's going to end up on the rock. That's just. I thought you were talking about they was going to run off together, her and Aisha.
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Aisha's gonna end up on the rock. Anybody that's this naive is gonna be Felicia.
I think the choice is going to be made. I think the choice is going to be made for Juke. I don't think that she's going to have to make a choice. I think the choice is going to be made for her.
Yeah, she wants the music, but she's got the military to back up, and I got a sneaky suspicion that something's gonna happen that's gonna get her to choose.
That's gonna make the choice for her. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Ronnie is over here just pilfering through Unique's jewelry. He got 2 bags loaded up with money and jewelry. And Pernessa got the nerve to come in this room and say, "Put those things back. Those are Unique. He's going to look for them when he comes back." Instead of her confronting Ronnie.
Easier for him to kill her and put her out and keep the house. He was taking everything.
That's what I thought was getting ready to happen. Listen, she should have came in. She should have cocked that weapon and said, "Yo, Ronnie, what you doing?"
Yo, my man, why are you here?
Yeah, you should have had way more questions for him, especially after you see him come in and robbing you. You should have cocked that weapon and been like, "Yo, what's up? Where Unique at? Why are you in here taking our things?"
She shouldn't have had no questions because her ass shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been there.
Anywhere else but there. Right. I kind of want them to do an episode where Ronnie doesn't speak at all. Ronnie's mannerism is his dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we already had that episode.
He did not say a word. He literally took her and tossed her to the ground.
He just looked at her.
And looked at her and
glasses up on his nose.
I wish you would get up. Get up.
Put some glasses up on his nose.
And walked off with 2 bags. With 2 bags of things.
You actually like Pernessa. What is that alike? What is that alike?
She's a sweet girl.
Sweet girl.
She's stupid.
She's a sweet girl. Look at her. Poor Pernessa. Look at her. Terrified.
She shouldn't have been in that house. I thought her head was going to get smashed into the dresser.
You said what?
I thought her head was going to get smashed into the dresser. She shouldn't have been in the house.
She got her head slapped into the dresser drawer like he did that dude with the car door.
Yeah. You never know what type of run he was on. With the Dungaroos on.
Did you just get a sugar-free Molly Whopping from Rob?
A sugar-free.
Why did you think you could run up on Ronnie and push him away from the jewels? Of course,
why is his jacket always too small?
No, you had all that gas on you when you walked up the Rock's door with that weapon cocked. Why you have it in your hand when you walk
It's
around
in
the
the car
corner?
with the safety on.
It was a little bit different because she was more
Nah, you
jealous
should have
that
walked
Rock
around
was.
the corner with that gat. You should have
It was
walked
a little
around the
bit
corner with
different
that gat.
because
Right,
Rock
what you in
was
here doing?
because Unique was laying in Rock's bed. It was a little bit different. So she was going based off of emotions.
Now she
Unique
should have
was
got
laying
up
in
out of
Rock's
here.
bed.
She should got up out of here and got Unique's furs and anything else that was left that couldn't fit in that little red bag, and 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 got the heck on. We don't need to
Again, she
see
was
Vanessa
naive.
again. If we see
Again, she was
Vanessa
naive because she
again,
thought that the Unique was coming back. So she was just being
She
naive.
no,
Yeah,
she
no,
said
no.
he's dead. I can tell. I can feel it.
yeah.
But she
Right.
said,
She's not
this is for when
naive.
Unique comes back. She said, no,
But
this is
she's not
jewelry. He gonna need it when he
naive.
come back.
No, she's not naive. She's just
Well,
stupid.
if she needed
Oh, stupid.
confirmation, if she needed confirmation, she got it right here. She got it
I
right
get
here.
that. She was stupid.
If she needed some kind of confirmation, it was right here that she got it.
I mean, your dude is the second in charge. in the
Social
street.
worker at the door, ear hustling. You got Kanan and Rockin' in there arguing. He goes to confront Rock at the house about putting the weapon in his backpack. Unbeknownst to them, the social worker's outside. She damn near had a cup to the door listening. And so she rings the
She didn't
doorbell.
have to listen that hard. They was
I'm
talking.
about to say I'd have been listening too.
Look, when she comes, oh my God, what's going on? I heard voices.
I mean, that's her job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We don't like her though.
Who
So
don't
she
like her? I
comes
ain't got no problem with her. She ain't do nothing to me. Shit.
I don't like
Rock
her.
shouldn't have put a damn gun in her son book bag. She won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's
Don't do
true.
nothing
Rock
to
had to
bring
put
these
a gun.
folks around here.
You invited that lady into your life.
You did
Yep.
invite this lady to your home and your life. You right about that. I
Okay.
can't deny
And get
that.
through.
Yeah. So the social worker comes in and she wants to interview Kanan alone without Rock. And Rock was like, this is not gonna be a family thing. She was like, no, you stay in here. I'm gonna go take him in the room and talk to him. Rock gives him that look like you better not say anything either. And Kanan look at her like so afterwards, Kanan was able to finesse her, and she comes back and she gives them her progress report, and she felt like Kanan was progressing and that she didn't see the need to have future visits, at least for the near future. You may see me again later on, but I don't know when.
She gonna pop up.
Yeah, we ain't gonna see her no more.
I think she gonna pop up.
What really B is right though. Now that I think about it, Rock can't be mad at nobody but herself. When she made that comment about Kanan knows the importance of not taking guns to work to school, he looked at Rock and said, "So does my mom."
You're right.
She know too.
I think he was trying to let her know he could flip this on her.
At any point, at any
To
time.
me, he was
Absolutely.
so much
That was
more brutal. He was so
And-
much
and
more brutal
honestly-
with Fame than he was with Rock.
Right.
That's
And
too
honestly, it actually, this whole thing backfired on her in more ways than one, because now you got the state looking at you, and at any point in time, they can roll up on you. And your son found out what happened, which means that now he has leverage over you that he didn't even have before. Now he's got the leverage. You gave him the upper hand at this point.
She almost looks like the Walsh from OG Power too. Support gaming. Maybe that's her sister. But yeah, you're right, honey. You're right, really B. That's true. So that's the end of her. So they
It's the
have
first time I've ever seen Rock kind of, unnerved just a little bit. This is the first time we've seen this.
well, it's also one of the first time there's a narrative that she can't control. She can't control this narrative. She thought that she could control it with Howard, but it was beyond his reach when the social worker got involved. So you're right. She's totally defenseless in this
And she's
situation.
doubled down on everything. This is the first time we've seen her knocked off her square a little bit. And Kanan, it was like making his teeth white. Like he could tell. So I agree with you. I think she knows now he has something on her.
Yeah. They continue to have this little argument, and Kanan reminds her about how evil she is and how horrible of a person she is. And she was like, when you get older, you'll understand this. You're like, I'll never understand you. I'll never understand you. Uncle Lou don't understand you either. Whatever, Kanan.
Uncle Lulu
Everything
understand.
she
I
said to
never
him,
understand anything that you do.
everything she said to him about you'll understand when you get older. I did it because I love you. You know what I'm saying? I did what was best, bop, bop, bop. He could use the same conversation when it comes to, we know he's not a snitch. He's not that type of dude. But if he wanted to turn on her and feel completely justified, he could use all of those same things.
But
You
you're
know,
right. It's
she's
not like he's
raising
going to
her
gain.
own Judas.
It's not like he's
She's
going to
rearing
gain
her own Judas.
emancipation from this. He'll go right into Boys Village. So you're right.
Ooh.
Howard going here to Captain Baptiste and try to finesse him way into transfer to narcotics from homicide. Captain Baptiste is just, you don't need to be the captain of this police department because you just everything going on around you and over your head and behind it in front of you, and you can't see this man finessing you. Oh yeah, I think it's a good idea. I'm like, Howard, you should have stayed your ass where you at because you just walking into fire. We all know that this ain't gonna end well. We don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but we know that this ain't gonna end well for him. Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at that wrist, that tiny evil wrist.
Yeah, but he was banging on Juliana's door. She should have came to the door with the strap and be like, what you want? Yeah, Juliana's door. She answers the door. She like, he was like, Unique is gone. He ain't coming back. And he goes in, he puts that little red Marlboro bag down with the money in it. And it's interesting that she made a play with him. She made a play with him where she said, I'll do business with you, but it's going to stay between me and you, nobody else, just me and you.
That's the part that I don't understand, and we talked about it offline. Like, how is she, like, you went from running the bodega and selling squares in the newspapers to now you got work? I thought your cousin was the one that was supplying the work. So how all of a sudden now you moving weight? Now you Sosa from Scarface all of a sudden. How, Juliana? How?
I think she's gonna slip the work from.
I agree, Mark.
I think she's gonna slip the work from the cousin Joaquin. She's gonna slip the work from him, and I think that's gonna be he's gonna give Rock his blessings to go ahead and take her on out.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Please take her away.
Tell them what you said, Retro, about Juliana and
I know I'm finna get going off on this. Is it just me, or am I the only one that sees chemistry with Juliana and Ronnie? I think they're gonna have a little something going on.
I don't see no chemistry on Ronnie.
Look at really big face.
With Juliana, yeah, but not with Ronnie. Ronnie ain't trying to.
Honey,
it ain't about the money. Ronnie
don't leave me out there.
What did I say? I said just thinking about Ronnie orgasming. It turns my stomach. It's probably the most terrifying. I mean,
Thank you, support game. I got somebody that got my back. Okay, Shady the City said she saw it too. All right. Support game said Ronnie and Juliana will clap. I think so. I think they're gonna clap.
Ronnie's whole personality is why I don't feel like he's Breeze. It's why in the back of my mind I'm reserving.
Thank you, Mark.
Comment on it because he has zero personality. Even in Power, the way they talked about him, like he was the pedophilia, right? But here he's unapproachable. He's prickly. He has a resting, aggressive demeanor. Like that's his resting demeanor is anger. Like, I just don't see him in any type of intimate, affectionate, nurturing setting at all.
And if it is, it's definitely going to be in a violent way.
Yeah. That's what I said. He probably likes a dominatrix that gives him 3 hard kicks to the sack.
Yeah.
That's how he gets off. He likes to be whipped. You know what I'm saying? He probably beats his own back in the shower, and that's how he...
She's gonna put some on.
Takes a boiling hot bath. He's just
a boiling hot bath.
He's a masochist.
So Lulu is at the club, trying to get everything opening for the night. And Miss Shirley is tending bar as usual. Marvin comes in and, he he takes a rest, and she can see that he's troubled or whatever. She fixes him a drink, offers him. Well, she doesn't really offer him advice, but she offers him an outlet to let out. She's I know heartbreak when I see it. He's just talking about his growing difficulties with trying to raise a teenage daughter. We also learned in this episode that Jukebox is 18. She is 18. I was proud too, Miss Honey. I was proud too of how Marvin and Lulu has come along. They usually had a very contentious relationship, but Lulu actually gave him good advice. Like, listen, I don't know nothing about being a parent. However, keep trying at it. You're doing a good job. Just encouraging him. So I like that advice. That's probably one of the best conversations that him and his brother will have.
I really like Lou in this moment, but he has to understand that the things you say encourage, the things you don't say can sort of co-sign. The way he handled that fame thing, he was trying to lift his head up and everything, but at the same time,
I knew you was gonna pin that comment. Really, be. I'm sorry, Miss Honey. Go ahead.
But at the same time, you really sent him out there to be slaughtered. Like, for you to tell him all that great advice, but tell him, listen, not tell him to take this to your grave, not tell him to watch how you moving out here, watch what you putting in your lyrics, maybe think about doing it a different way. You really sent him to slaughter, in my opinion. And it wasn't as graphic as what you did to D Wiz, but you ain't do nothing to protect fame. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, you really sent him out there. Go ahead, Really B. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I agree with DeMarcus. I said that on my review. I said that's what I think. That's how I feel. And nobody has really. I mean, you put up some good points when I was talking to you, Retro. But I still feel like, and once we get to the end of this episode and we see what happened at the end of this episode, that further solidified to me that Ronnie is Breeze. But that's my opinion.
We'll talk about it.
But going back to what
about the nickname Breeze make you think of Ronnie?
We'll talk about it.
I don't know. I mean, we'd have to figure out why. I mean, I don't know, but
I mean, you know what a Breeze is.
There are a couple of things about Ronnie that make me feel like Ronnie could be Breeze. I just
but does Ronnie seem like a cool, refreshing, gentle wind?
That don't necessarily mean what Breeze is. Breeze could be he come in like a breeze. Nobody ever sees him coming, but they feel the impact.
Now I'll give you that because he's good for that recon. He can slip up on you and just be standing there in plain sight and you not even know he's there. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I wish we knew when they were going to reveal it. I would say we should start a pool. But since we don't know when they're going to actually reveal it, but I really wish we knew the day it was going to come out. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We'll talk about it because I got some frustrations with that. If that is the case, we'll talk about it. So, ain't nobody told Kanan yet that he don't need to be out in front of his place trapping.
Wow.
Y'all done got rolled up on so many times. You out here out here moving work.
Young black boys is out on the corner, and them boys ain't rolling up. They rolling up on rock more than they rolling up on this hot behind corner.
And he is literally passing out work in broad daylight in front of everybody.
So obvious.
Jack on mute. I wish Jack was here to talk about Paul. We were talking about here. Paul's out of here. Paul's out of here.
Oh yeah, Paul. Yeah, Ronnie about to take care of Paul next episode.
I said the same thing.
Episode. Ronnie about to take care of Paul.
I said the same thing. Ronnie is going to delete Paul.
It's about to be a wrap.
Yep. Paul come out here all loud and bolting his chest out with Kanan about once again the workers are not working for him; they're working for Kanan. The workers are making more money.
First of all, don't you ever push up on me like that.
Do it for me one more time, Jack. What do you say? Hey.
He said, first of all, don't you ever push up on me like that.
Yo,
okay,
all people.
Can I say something? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to dwell on this because I know you said we're gonna talk about it at the end. But somebody in the chat, shoot, I done lost it now. Sorry, I lost the chat. My bad.
Go ahead.
No, but somebody in the chat was saying, why would Breeze change his whole name, or why would Ronnie change his whole name? And I'm saying that's how nicknames work. Ronnie might not have changed his name. If that's what Kanan started calling him, that's what a nick. There are people in my life that call me things that nobody else calls me because they created that nickname for me, and other people in that circle of friends have picked up that nickname. That doesn't mean that everybody called him Breeze. And Xavier said, but I'm sorry, that's the point I wanted to make. Xavier said, but Ronnie doesn't seem nurturing or brotherly, and he doesn't seem like a person who would be wilding. That is why I said that the writers missed an opportunity to give us a glimpse into what Ronnie and Unique's relationship looked like before he went to jail. There was even with the baby mama saying, nah, he would never do that. Unique always spoke, said what he said about Ronnie. Ronnie would never do that to his brother. But we missed that chapter because all they've ever shown us about Ronnie and Unique's relationship is post jail. But there's a reason why Ronnie left his organization to Unique. And it's not because it's his brother. It's because that's who he thought he could leave it to. That's who he want. You know what I'm saying? If Ronnie was as big of a player as they trying to make us think, he could have left it to anybody. He chose to leave it to you. So I don't know. I just think they lost a golden opportunity in not giving us that relationship pre-jail. But I'm done. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm done. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go on.
We're gonna talk about it some more. Hey, we got 42 members in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button. AOV makes a good point. So what are the Asians going to do since Unique is ghost and the restaurant owners can't ID Ronnie? I think that Rock is going to go over there and she's going to set up shop in that restaurant. Or she's going to remix it. But we already seen her go talk to little Linguini to take over that operation. Yeah, but I think she's going to take over that operation.
If he is free.
But Paul is definitely out of pocket here. He pushed up on Kanan and he's just saying all the wrong things out loud. He even threatened him about going to the feds. So just that conversation right there, Kanan handled himself well, but you also saw Ronnie looking in the distance like he was ready to step in.
You know what I really don't understand about Paul, man, is that, and forgive me, my domestic.
You get free work and you getting
free work. And you getting free money. You don't have to do nothing. You getting everything anyway. So what are you tripping about? Is it some type of is your ego hurt
because he's trying to run his own business? He literally has a business.
But he's getting money. But
he's failing right now because he has no couriers.
But he's getting money.
As a business.
He's failing as a business, but he's getting money.
But that's not the point. The point, okay, in my opinion, he legit has a business. He has customers. He has people. He's trying to build this business. In his mind, I don't think he feels like this is something that's going to last. Like he said that a couple of weeks ago. He said, "What's going to happen when you're gone?"
Yeah.
He doesn't think this is going to last because he think that Kanan is just a dumb nigga that's going to get arrested and it's going to be a wrap. So yeah, it's cool that I'm making a little bit of extra money and I'm getting some work, but in 3 weeks when your ass is in jail, my business still got to be here. I got to be able to pay my bills. That's how I took it. Because when he said a couple of weeks ago, well, what happens when you're gone? That tells me that he don't think this is a long-term situation.
But at that point, then that's when your workers come back because now they got to get work somewhere else.
But in the meantime, his business is gone. He loses his business.
And he loses the couriers because if Kanan get roped up, they're going to get roped up.
That's true too.
He went from haphazardly throwing Kanan a little part-time work, get you a little something, hey kid, to really being run by this. Yeah, he's got a problem. It does have to do with his business. I 100% agree with that. He had a legit business. I don't know why he don't just move his business down 2 blocks. Why it's got to be right there at your own house, especially since this dude running it. But at the same time, I think he's jealous, and he went from thinking he was superior to Kanan really sunning him.
Now I do think it has something to do with the fact that he doesn't respect Kanan for a lot of reasons. One, because Kanan is young. 2, Kanan is black. I think it definitely comes down to him not having a whole lot of respect for Kanan as well. I agree with you on that.
Man, did you see Ronnie in the background right here? Ronnie just
Yeah.
sitting here in the cut. I said, Paul, if you know like I know, you going back up there and close that apartment door.
You better lay low.
Like you said in your review last week, Miss Honey, about Kanan, when Katie walked into Ronnie, talking about stone, steel. Boy, I died. Listen, you talking about Katie ran back upstairs and put a chair to the door and a board to the door. That's what Paul needs to do right now. Paul need to run and get under the mattress because his days are numbered. He out of here next week. And somebody said in the chat that Ronnie probably going to end up moving into his apartment. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
He's gonna Debo it.
Ronnie gonna drown him in the bathtub and
He's
take over
gonna be
that
from the fifth floor.
Right.
I'm sure the zipper of that coat has Unique's brain matter in it. I just want to put that out there.
At least he's neat. He's always neat. He's always he's neat.
He's always neat.
He's neat.
Yeah.
So Kanan
Blood
go ahead
matter.
and tell two of the workers to go work for Paul and come back and he'll have some work for them when he get back. Ronnie walks up to him. I see you out here hustling. I'm having a party. You should come. That's it. You'll want to be there or else. And just walks off. And Kanan looking at him like, oh, this dude is weird as fuck, but I'm gonna go see what this party about. So Ronnie has got his sight set on this courier system. He likes what he sees, so he's going to take over this business. Kanan thinks that he's going to be in control. Ronnie's going to take this over from him. He's going to get a little taste of what Paul feeling because Ronnie finna run down on his business. Rock pull up to Howard. She's like, what you hearing about Unique? He was like, well, I mean, ain't not like they actively investigating the case, but all signs down to whatever happened at that tailor shop indicates that Unique ain't here with us no more. Dean gone, Unique gone, or you next. You know, Rock gives him this I'm a bad girl speech about being scared and aware. She was like, your partner was scared. I'm aware. But when she drove off, to me, it looked like she had a little bit of fear in her.
As she should.
As she should, yeah.
Yeah, she just wasn't going to give him the satisfaction. I noticed, Rock didn't snitch either. I mean, she could have put a bug in Howard's ear.
About what? About Ronnie.
She could have at least put a little bug in Ronnie's ear. But because she thinks she's really managing this situation with Kanan and that he's gonna eventually come around, like, get over it. I tried to get you to kill your own dad. Deal with it, right? She's not even paying attention to just how deep. She knows Kanan's running something, but she not even keeping tabs on him. She ain't even got nobody watching Kanan. She don't even ask Marvin to go and check on Kanan, to talk to Kanan. Like, she thinks she's got
Well, you
Kanan.
can juke because she normally uses juke for that. Yep.
Yeah, and I just wonder if she knew how hard Ronnie was pushing up on Kanan. I don't know why she's not worried about Kanan.
She's oblivious, and right now
I think if she doesn't say anything about Ronnie and doesn't involve herself with Ronnie, that Ronnie's not going to affect her. There's something weird about how she's handling the Ronnie situation, in my opinion.
It is something weird about how she's handling the situation. I agree with that. But I think she's just distracted by everything else that's going on. She got so much stuff going on right now that she can't really focus on Kanan right now because he's a loose cannon right now. So she can't necessarily deal with that because she was trying to deal with that by putting the weapon in and thinking that that was going to bring him back home and that she was going to be able to have control. Now that has went left. So she's really lost all of her control.
But again, I honestly think, to be honest, I know I sound like a broken record, but again, I think this is where the writers dropped the ball. To me, they're sending us subliminal messages that Rock is scared of Ronnie, but they're not telling us why.
Ooh,
they're not giving us anything. Ooh. Rock is moving different around Ronnie than she's moved around anybody. We have never seen Rock tiptoe around nobody. She is tiptoeing around Ronnie.
Come on, really preach.
Knows what's wrong.
No, preach, baby, preach. You saying it now. You really saying it.
She knows that Ronnie killed Dean. She knows that Ronnie killed Unique. But there's a reason why she is tiptoeing around him, and they're not. I just feel like, again, I feel like the writer, and unless they're gonna give us something later on down the road, I reserve the right to change my opinion if they give us something later on down the road. But right now, they're not giving that to us, and I just feel like there's so much there that they could give us that would explain why does Rock move differently with Ronnie. It's something there that they just not giving us.
Wow,
That's a very good question, Mr. Jackal, and I appreciate that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Mr. Jackal says, does Rock even know that Ronnie feels the way he feels about her? That is a very good question.
But I think that goes back to what the writers aren't giving us, because again, me personally, I told y'all what I thought would have been a great story is if they had connected Ronnie, this dirty cop, and Rock setting Ronnie up. The same way they're alluding to maybe she set up DEFCON or High Post, the same way we saw what happened to Kanan, like that foreshadowing that Power loves to do. I felt like the writers could have given us that maybe that would explain why Ronnie feels the way he feels and why he was so pissed off at Unique for even rocking with her. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're going to get that in a conversation, much like how we got with Kanan and Tariq, where Kanan gave Tariq their backstory about how they was coming up. I think.
Oh, so you think that Ronnie will tell his story to Kanan?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it will include why he feels the way he feels about Rock.
But I don't think that's this season. I don't think we have enough episodes left for them to get that comfortable.
I don't know, really. We got what?
3 episodes? 4 episodes left.
I mean, they've been some meaty episodes, though. But I really like what you said, really, like that. I couldn't really identify what I was feeling about Rock. So when you said it, it really just connected. Like, she low-key, dodging this dude. I mean, Rock stepped to anybody. So, yeah.
That could be
Ronnie is a different type of threat, and he's a different type of crazy.
He is, but at the same time, you got a whole child out here that's doing something you don't know, but you see he hustling in some type of way. You're not even, like, you done peeped where he lived, you done peeped him leave, and you the first part of this season, she was basically stalking Kanan. And you went from doing absolutely nothing, and for sure now he's running a business. Right? Like, so it's just uncharacteristically Rock, but I do think it's very interesting that we may learn a little bit more about Ronnie through his conversations with Kanan. So that gives me something to look forward to.
I think that's what we're going to have to hang our hat on. And really might be right that we may not get it this season, but I think we need to get it this season in order for us to go into the next season with understanding. Right now, we don't have understanding. So for character, and they have done a good job with Ronnie's character development, but they're still showing us more of the same. So we need to see more now. Okay, we get it. He's creepy. We get it that he's temperamental. We get it that he's weird. Okay, we got that part. We're past that point now. Now we need to understand what is fueling this anger, what's fueling this rage, what's his motivation to destroy Rock. So I think that we're going to have to get some of that as him and Kanan progress. Juke gets her results. She's at breakfast the next morning at home. She gets her results. She finds out she qualifies. She got her ASVAB results back. So when Marvin comes down, she puts the paper away. And, and he tries to make amends with her by saying, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make this about me. But, I'm really excited for you. And I really think that you have the potential to be the lead or whatever. And Jukebox kind of, in a roundabout way confirms that, you might be on to something. They do feel like I could possibly be lead or whatever. But it's curious that she hasn't told. The thing I like about Jukebox, she keep everything to herself. She don't confide in nobody. She don't tell nobody about what she got going on or whatever. She just move in silence. So it is going to come as a big shock when she does go off. And I think I'm going back to Miss Honey. We're worried about Marvin. I think whatever happens with Marvin is going to push her into because she'll be pretty much, out on her own. If something happens to Marvin, she will be out on her own. So I think that's going to be what motivates her to go ahead and go to the military.
I don't know if it's necessarily Marvin as it is the group. I think the group is going to fall apart. And I think that's what's gonna be like. You know what? That's the only reason. Because remember, the only reason why she even is even hesitant about the military is because of the situation with the group. She was 100% on board to go and ready to go to the military. The only reason why she's having second thoughts now is because of what she thinks could possibly be happening with the group.
That's true.
Or it might not be, or it could be Lou, because Lou gone. One way or another, Lou about to die. Lou don't make it out of this season.
I don't think he makes it out either.
No.
He's out of here. All right. I mean, I'm gonna have to give it to Rock in this scene. She tried. I mean, she went over there to Lou's bar. She hears her daddy's music playing in the background, and it kind of gave her a little bit of peace at that moment. You know, it brought a smile to her face. You know, she heard daddy's music playing or whatever, and she was earnestly trying to make amends with her brother. I'm sorry, I felt a lot of what she said in this conversation. I get what Lou is saying. Like, listen, I was
everything she said was the truth.
It was the truth. You followed me. I followed you everywhere you went. You had me doing bad things. Well, did I tell you to unalive Camacho? I don't see you crying about that. I don't see you crying about that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, I get it. I guess I'm torn between the game, and I get it that that's somebody you were cool with. But I get it how you feel about Scrap. But why are you so upset about D-Wiz? Okay, he was young. He was a kid. But, sir, like, I refuse to believe that in your lifetime of being in the business, that's the first kid that you had to unalive. Like, I'm confused. I'm confused about why this is it. Out of all the things you done.
I think one of the reasons why he feels so bad about D-Wiz is because how he set D-Wiz up. You know what I'm saying? He took him to them clubs, got him, laid, and then peeing on the side of a building, you unalived him. Like, that's a big part of your guilt too.
Yeah, and that's a big part of his guilt.
And the fact that you didn't go and look into the Scrap thing yourself and say, ho, 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 respectfully, Rock, let's just chill for a minute, ... Like, you're upset with yourself a lot too.
Yo, what's up, Brillo? Yeah, I agree. D-Wiz was not innocent as well. That's what we were trying to figure out. Why is he just so pressed about this? Like, I get the whole situation with Scrap. It was a mistake, but it wasn't a mistake you made.
Not only that, but again, Scrap know the business too. And okay, let's rewind the clock. Scrap lied because his mother was still running them illegal poker parties that Rock told him to stop. Remember? That's the reason why. The reason why Scrap lied is because his mama, because he was dealing with his mother and them damn illegal, and he was doing that illegal gambling, which eventually would have probably got him hemmed up. And when Marvin tried to talk to him and find out, he lied. So you're in a business that is very temperamental. It's very temperamental. So again, Scrap was no innocent. It wasn't that, like Marvin even said that. Marvin said, well, he was up to something because he lied. So yeah, he wasn't a snitch, but he still lied. And at that point, can we trust him anymore?
I mean, he did lose an eye for her though.
And that's true, Brillo. That's true. He was upset about Warrell. He was upset about them giving Warrell that spot in Jersey. So eventually, Scrap was going to become a problem.
Scrap was already a problem because remember he had a gambling problem. The police had already picked him up once.
Yeah.
And remember, over
and shut the mama down a couple of times.
The 50 Cent voiceover even said that Scrap had a problem. He had a gambling problem. That was going to eventually become a problem. I'm sorry. I get it. Yeah, he sacrificed. He lost the eye for y'all. I get all of that. But again, at the end of the day,
it's the game too.
I'm sorry. I understand why the mother is upset because you lost your child. He was unalive. But you also knew what your child was out here doing. You knew he was out here in the streets. So you know what the risks are that comes with it.
You ain't gonna know. A mother's love, it don't matter. It don't matter.
I understand that, but you don't try to sit here and act like your son was an innocent bystander because he was out here running the streets.
It don't matter. A mother's love does not make sense. A mother's listen. I deal with mamas all the time. We could show a mama their child on video camera fighting, and they'll say that wasn't my child. Somebody must have hit them first. It don't matter. So I
get
mean, I understand what you're saying, but a mother's love does not make sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just telling you.
But I think Rock is obviously a trigger for him. We see that. Rock is obviously a trigger for him, but I don't know what it is that Lou needs to feel vindicated or to feel good about what's happened between him and his sister. But the alcohol is the drink is.
I think it's because she held a mirror up to his face.
She did hold a mirror up to him.
She really was like face facts. Like
That's basically what I'm trying to say, Xavier. He needs to man up at this point.
I agree.
Shit happens.
I agree with you on that.
You know what? I said that last week. I said that maybe Thursday. I think in Thursday's live, I said that I think that Lou could end up doing the same thing his father possibly did, unaliving himself. But he needs therapy. He does need therapy.
I mean, his dad was on drugs too. You know, and when you abuse alcohol in this way, shout out to wine. Yeah.
Jack, you there?
Bye, Gerald.
Bye, Gerald.
Night.
Good night. What y'all bringing to the weight?
I think his Dave's number, man. When that dude came through in the park and was like, "Hey, yeah, Marv, I remember you," and Marv was trying to like spin him, and it seemed like Joe was just way too interested in the story. I think he's way too interested in Marvin's background.
Listen, honey, I'm gonna ride with you on this one. You said it in your review, and I agree with you. Gerald the ops.
Yeah.
Gerald's the ops.
And they're both doing what it's notorious for some.
Gerald is not no good
males.
people, Xavier. Gerald is not no good peoples.
Gerald is not good.
They're being very typical here. They're in someone else's business. They acting like they don't know. They being way too involved. They crossing lines, and you know it's just
in business that don't belong to you.
In business that don't belong to you. I mean, you got a kid. You at the park, but you at the clubs and you walking on. Yeah, come on now.
So do you think it was a setup from the beginning? Y'all saying that y'all think that Marvin was set up from the beginning?
I don't believe that. I do not believe it was a setup from the beginning. What I believe is, I think his journalism career is kicking into
journalistic curiosity.
Yes. His periodical that he's working for, I think all that is kicking in the overdrive at this point. I think that he sees that there's a story there with Marvin, and he wants to be the one to break it. I don't necessarily think he was a setup from the beginning, because he was in the anger management. He did have a substance abuse problem. So for that, I don't think that he's pure and clean. But I think that he's going to take this information, tell it to people that he don't need to be telling it to, and it's going to write him his death certificate. It's going to sign his death certificate. He's out of here.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
It's too coincidental. I'm sorry, I agree with you.
This is how it is, especially when you got certain types of racial disparities, right? Like, even though Marvin helped him out, he's just really coming across a little superior. When he was at the table and he was talking about this rags to riches type thing, it just kind of lets you know in the back of your mind what people say sometimes, for some of them, will never really be good enough. He admires Marvin. He wants to be friends with Marvin. Marvin helped him out in a pinch. At the same time, he's not telling his Caucasian friends all the stuff he's going through. He's telling it to Marvin because he feels like Marvin can relate. I think he looks at Marvin and he peeps Marvin as, you know, a guy for the streets. You know, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I don't think he has as much respect for Marvin as Marvin has for him.
I think it was a setup from the beginning. It never made sense. Listen, this whole thing never made sense to me. Out of everybody that you know, out of everybody that you met in the support group between Narcotics Anonymous, anger management, this is the dude you call? This him. This the guy that you need. There was nothing. I mean, I know towards the end, Marvin made peace with everybody and everything was all good. But when you need help, you're in a do or die situation. It never occurred to Marvin, why would he think I could bring him money? Why would he think that I had access to money like that? That I would help him and come and take and then you conveniently leave your
I
work
was thinking the
ID.
same thing, really be.
I thought it was a setup from the beginning. It just didn't make no sense to me.
I mean, it could be. It could be. I think it's completely possible. It's completely possible. At the same time, I think, yeah, you called him because this is a person that you feel like can navigate down through. It's some part of him that feel like, I think he know. I think he know about
Right.
it to some degree, yeah. Or that or his stereotypes are just super, super strong.
I don't know. I think he got in trouble with the police. And I think the police said, if you could do
and now they bringing Marvin's name up. You could be right. You could be right.
I mean, I don't know that.
Sense.
I just feel like if it's a setup from the beginning.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Wow, it's crazy. So they could all end up locked up at the end of this season.
Okay. The reason why I don't feel like it's a setup from the beginning is because of that very reason. I think that Marvin personified himself and he pretty much typecasted Marvin in a way that Marvin is the perfect person that I would have called. If I was in Gerald's shoe, Marvin would have been definitely the first person I would have called to get me out of the type of jam that he was in. He was in a jam where you needed somebody from the streets to come in and navigate that situation. So I think for that, they kind of built a thing. Keep in mind, it was Marvin that offered to put together their own support group. It wasn't him. Now, if he would have been suggestive to all that, hey, maybe me and you need to put together a support group. Maybe me and you need to hang out going forward. Marvin was the one who initiated all those things. So I think he's just taking advantage of the fact that he's got a buddy from the streets now, and he wants to exploit that. He wants to feel like he's got the inside scoop on the things that's happening in the hood because he has a black friend now and he has a guy that's from the streets. So I don't think that he was part of a setup from the beginning, because keep in mind, Marvin was court ordered to go there to that support group or whatever the case may be.
I don't mean from that point. I mean from that night, the night that he got beat up. I mean from that point. I think that was a setup.
Well,
yeah, and I hear what you're saying, but isn't that the mark of a good informant? Make you think it's your idea? So you're right. Marvin was like, "Hey man, I really, but if you go back, White Boy was the one that was like, man, I really miss y'all. Like, I really miss this. We really need, you know what I'm saying?" And he was like, "You're right. I miss y'all too. Well, why don't we?" Isn't that that's like make you think it's your idea all when it really was really what I wanted, but it was really I put it out there to make it seem like it was your idea.
I'm sorry, but for me to put a CI on Marvin, that seems like it's a waste of time. Marvin is not the big fish. Marvin is not the big fish.
Know that, but they don't know that.
I mean, he's close enough to the fish.
We'll see.
We'll see.
When he brought up the whole Tony Deep situation, and then that Alphabet Boy came back and started asking about the whole Tony Deep thing, to me, I knew that Gerald had took that information and spoke about it elsewhere. I don't see the benefit to them putting a CI on Marvin when they were really after Stefano and the Italians to begin with. When we first got introduced to the FBI, they were on the Italians. And because of what happened with the Thomas family, they started investigating them. So to me, if anybody
I mean, he took out Sal in broad daylight, you guys.
Right. And remember they're technically, although we haven't seen it in a couple of episodes, technically they're following Rock. You mean to tell me that they don't know that Marvin and Rock are brother and sister? Marvin's the one that got the criminal, he's the convicted felon, not Rock. So if they're looking for the weak person in the line, it's going to be the person that already got a felony that ain't trying to go back to jail.
But I think
So
they would have shown us already that they were looking
maybe,
into Marvin.
maybe.
At this point, we haven't seen Marvin Mintel. We haven't seen. They just brought Marvin's name up in this episode, so we've seen in
That's
other
true.
episodes who they've been watching and who they've been investigating and who they've been questioning. Marvin hasn't been on their radar as of until now. So to me, it just seemed like I think that we are right about our suspicions about Gerald, but I don't think that it was a setup from the beginning. I don't even think that he's working with the ops at all. I think it's just that he's the average
He's going to
reporter.
take the opportunity.
He's the average reporter that's
And you
digging.
don't have no respect for Marvin anyway.
Well, he
I
doesn't have
agree,
respect
Noir
for
Angel.
he doesn't have respect for boundaries. He's digging into something that he don't need to be digging into, and it's going to cost him his life because of it.
Mm.
Kanan and Aisha and Jukebox are headed to Ronnie's party. Jukebox seemed like she want to be anywhere else but there. And that jacket she got on, ooh, it is fire. I am on eBay tonight looking for it.
The jacket that Juke got on,
Yes, God.
all her clothes are so big.
Y'all know I love my polo. Ooh, that jacket. I love it.
I like polo too, but I don't know. I wasn't crazy about that jacket. That's
That
interesting.
jacket is for me right there.
I like
Oh,
what
be fine,
Noir Angel says when she talks about how Rock did say to Marvin, since when you have friends at newspapers.
Yeah, to me, I think that's it just shows that Marvin makes poor judgment, because we saw that when he made the poor judgment to put the hit out for Tony Deep. That was poor judgment that caused the whole Thomas family to get wrapped up with these Italians. So I think to me, it's just showing us that it's going all the way back to when they said he was locked up when he was trapping out of his house and he served the police and all that. I think it's just showing us, as much as we love Marvin,
He's
Marvin
gullible.
does make, he's gullible. He does make poor decisions. And I think
He's very happy-go-lucky too. Like, he doesn't really do a lot without Rox. I mean, I don't think he would have killed anybody up until this point if it wasn't for Rox, suggesting it consistently and putting him, out there like that. I don't think he's that type of dude. It's unfortunate. I like Marvin.
Duke wants to also take this opportunity to ask Kanan, what's up with you and Famous? Why Famous ain't here? He's like, I don't want to talk about that or whatever. You can tell that she's not feeling the temperature. She know that there's something.
He told her, he said I don't rock with Famous anymore. She was like, what? What happened with that? And he was like, yeah, I ain't. Mm-mm.
I agree with that, Neor. Marvin wants everybody to be happy. Yep. So she get to the club and she see Ronnie and them is there. She like, I know something ain't right about this. She was like, this ain't where we need to be. And then, of course, Kanan gets introduced to Ishmael, Snaps, and Pop. And Juke already reading the room. She already looking around. I'm like, no, something ain't right. And she knew everybody there at that party. She knew all the thugsters and the gangsters. And she was like, Kanan, your mama wouldn't want you to be here. He's like, Muck Rock, I don't care what she think. What do y'all think that do you think that this party was, well, I don't think the party was just for Kanan, but do you think that this was his induction?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it was for him mostly. It was to say, hey, I'm back from Ronnie. Like, I'm running this thing now. And also it was to sweep Kanan up in the middle of it all. I mean, all of these people are grown as hell, even though he does have his own business and he handled it. I mean, all these people are grown as heck. Listen, let me just say this before we move too far past it. Juke talking to Ronnie in that way.
Not scared.
Oh my gosh. I loved it. I was like, finally someone confronts this guy. I mean, I just loved it. Your brother missing? And you throwing a party?
Yep.
I loved it.
On a party? Right. Yeah, I think it was definitely him being inducted into the Thugster Society.
Yeah. I mean, grooming takes a lot of different forms.
Grooming does.
Which is why I keep referencing pimping, right? Because it encompasses all of these things: grooming, wooing, bullying, positioning a person where they have to rely on you, have to depend on you. Once you've given Kanan this work, he's beholden to you. You see what I'm saying? It's all in the grooming game. It's all in the grooming game. Even them calling him over and asking him to take a picture, and he's sitting there drinking with them, and them feeling confident enough to kind of see that he not rolling with his mama. They say it. If we thought you was rolling with your mom, you wouldn't be here.
So I won't share my opinions on what I think Jukebox is going through in this moment right here. I'll just ask the panel. What do y'all think was on Jukebox's mind here in this scene?
I wish that was me. Out there dancing with Aisha.
I felt that way too.
I should have said, I should have told him that I don't know what's going on with us yet. You know what I'm saying? I think she was second guessing all that. At the same time, I think she feels like, this is why I want to get out of New York. Like, it's nothing for me here. Like, I don't really have nobody that's for me here. I don't have nothing for me here. Like, this life is not for me. When she busted in between them dancing, I was like, oh, that was a hater move. Oh.
DeMarcus, thank you for the super. Jukebox is very observant, just like Ronnie Mathis, and that's scary. Yep, I agree. Because Jukebox, she peep everything that's going on around her. And she know that this not a vibe that they need to be part of.
But Ronnie stands out. When you see him just standing there scowling, you can pick him out of a crowd of millions. One, because he has no emotions whatsoever. The thing about Juke is that Juke is always in the rafters. She's always silently somewhere. People don't think about Juke. They don't consider Juke. They're not scared of Juke. They don't think one way or another about Juke. She sort of melts into the background.
Yep. So Juke pushes up on them. She cuts in the middle of their dance, and she was like, listen, we got to go. And you need to go because you got a business you got to run. Me and Aisha got rehearsal tomorrow. We need to go. You don't need to be here with these thugsters. Ronnie comes up. There ain't no thugsters. And she look around the room like, huh, what you say? Yes, they are. She started naming everybody in the room. She started naming everybody in the room. She's like, they all thugsters. And you are one too. Let's go. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that, again, and I understand, I agree with y'all are saying, but I also think this goes back to rewind the clock all the way back. This goes back to Juke being able to understand what's going on and see things for what they are. And Kanan is caught up in what he wants it to be. Juke knows exactly where they are, and she sees exactly what's happening. She knows, like, she's looking around the room. She knows what this is. This ain't no random party. This ain't no house party that we've stumbled into. This is a setup.
Yep.
And this is, like you said, this is his initiation. And she understands how serious this situation is. Kanan don't know what she knows. Right. Kanan don't know what she knows. Kanan hasn't seen what she has seen. You know, we go back to the first season where she knew so much more about the family business and the ins and the outs of the family business than Kanan did. And Juke knows these dudes, and she gets it. She definitely understands it. And she knows that this night is going to, you know, however Kanan goes in this night, it changes everything. And I agree with what DeMarcus was saying about Juke, you know, forgot that she used to be a booster, and she actually showed Kanan how to first go to the park and sell a little something. But again, I think the difference between then and now is, in that moment, that was, I think, in her mind, I'm not saying it's true, but in her mind, that was sort of a temporary fix to a situation that Kanan, you know, versus now this dude said, you got a whole business you're running. And she's not stupid. This dude took her to B. Smith's a couple of weeks ago. Like, B. Smith's, especially for a couple of teenagers, that wasn't cheap, you know? I mean, I remember going to B. Smith's. It wasn't the most expensive restaurant, but it wasn't Applebee's. So she understands. He talking about something. I saved up some money. No, you ain't save up nothing. She's not stupid, but I don't think she understood how deep it was until now.
Yeah, I agree.
How much older is she than him? Because now she's 18. What is she like?
She's like
He
2
like 2
years.
years
She's like
younger?
2 years older.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than her.
Yes, he's 16.
Okay.
He's 18.
Wow.
And you know what? It kind of almost reminds me of Rock and Lou's situation, just a little bit, because Jukebox is pretty much Kanan's older sister, and you know she tries to lay down the law with Kanan, and she expects Kanan to follow her lead, but she see that she's lost control of him as well, because under normal circumstances, when Juke would have said "let's go," I don't think Kanan would have argued with her or pushed back on her. He would have got his things together and let's go. But now she sees now that she doesn't have that effect on him anymore, that she can't even control him. So she know that he's at a point of no return.
How could she know it and not Rock? I guess it goes back to Really B, what Really B was saying about a mother's love.
And Kanan is in a rebellious mode right now. So he's rebelling against any and everything that's right now, or everything he perceives as a part of his family. He wants to be no part of it. So he's latching on to the strange bedfellows that he's making with Ronnie and Snap and Pop. And then when he heard Ronnie say Muck Rock, so basically that was just like, oh yeah, you're a friend of mine. Enemy of my enemy is a friend of mine.
Here's the thing, too. First of all, I think Ronnie was drinking a Shirley Temple. I'm just gonna put that out there. Number one, and number two, he doesn't have any bruises or injuries, you guys, from that fight. It was just a week ago. Isn't it odd? His glasses aren't broke. Like,
remember, he took his glasses off.
He took his glasses off.
Took his glasses off.
It's just so weird how it's like Unique is gone and he's here now. And I don't know. It's so
his response
odd.
to Jukebox that Unique is taking some time off to clear his head. Yeah, okay. Jukebox knew right there and there that you got really drunk. Like, you having a party and your brother missing? Ain't your brother missing?
She didn't have no respect for nothing that was going on that night. She was like,
the thing is this: everybody in that room feels the same way. Nobody. Do you think that there's any of them gangsters, hustlers in that room don't understand that Unique is gone? He ain't coming back, and it's probably Ronnie. And the reason why I say that is that there's no other talk in the street. Like, nobody is talking about, like, the fact Rock again. And y'all know I really like the writers for Raising Kanan, but again, Rock, you're not that detached from the streets. That Unique, I understand they cut off their relationship piece, but you're not that detached. And I know that, I get it, that Unique, he no longer was a player. I get that. His business was down. Y'all weren't, but somebody would have talked about the fact that this dude had disappeared. And especially if the police went in to tell the shot. Now I can see if the police had never found the blood and all of that. But the streets ain't talking. Like, how did baby mama roll up on you and you didn't know nothing? Same thing with Dean. Like, it's not realistic. These are players in the game, and you walk away, but you're not that detached that you don't know that a major player is down. Like, I'm sorry. So everybody in that room, because the fact that nobody was in there talking about RIP Unique. Nobody was in there talking about some, yo, Ronnie, we gotta figure out where Unique is. We gotta roll up. Like, the fact that everybody just acting like they like see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. They know what's up.
Ain't nobody heads her up either. I mean, if you know anything about these times, if people told your mom a lot of stuff, like most of the time when your mama found something out, it was word of mouth. And you got your son in here rolling with some of the. It's just odd. It's odd. Now we still got episode 7 for some of these things to come.
I can't hear Miss Honey. Is that me?
No, I can't hear her either.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
You're really low. I can hear you, but you're really, really low.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But what I was saying was,
I still could barely hear her.
Check your mic, Miss Honey.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Really?
Can I just say something about the party real quick, and then before my domestic terrorists get back in here?
Go ahead, Miss
What
Honey.
I
I'm gonna turn your mic up.
what I think the party signified is kind of like the gathering of the kings. You know, everybody pretty much has their area of which they run. You know, it's kind of like if you look at all these old school parties, old school movies. If you go back to New Jack City when Nino was throwing parties, if you go back to Paid in Full when they were showing up at parties, and there, it's kind of like the gathering of the kings, and it was pretty much introducing, you know, Kanan into the circle. You're now one of us. So, you know, these people can also be your ally. They also could be an enemy, but we're the ones that run the underworld of, you know, the drugs. We run the drug underworld. And I think that's pretty much what the party signifies, because you kind of see it in every older movie or older show when it comes down to the drugs. I do think that um I do think that Jukebox has more of an ear to the street than Kanan does, and for that matter, if that's the case, piggybacking off of what Really B said, more than Rock does too, because she knows what's going on. She can peek the whole room, and she can surveillance the whole room, and she was calling out people by names. I just thought that it was funny that she is the one that's further detached from the streets, but knows what's going on in the streets out of all the family. She's the furthest from it. You like Lou is far from it too, but not as far as um as Jukebox is. Marv, you know, and then Rock, who's supposed to be retired, but Juke still knows, you know, the ins and outs and what's going on in the streets. And I just thought that was a little bit I thought that was a little funny. That was a little odd. I think my domestic terrorist is coming back.
What I was saying was, can you guys hear me? No.
Miss Honey, let me try to see if I can turn your mic up. Go now.
Can you hear me?
You still sound far away.
Okay, can you hear me now?
But yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that and I also agree with the comment that DeMarcus made about Ronnie is going to use Kanan to replace Unique. I agree with Support Game. Jukebox treats Kanan like Rock treats Lou. Yep. I think just a little bit different. I think it's just a little bit different, but I do agree. Kane is now part of the Supreme team now, I guess. Kane's part of the Supreme team. He looked like he really didn't want to take that picture, but you know, once Rock see that picture, she gonna flip her wig.
But you know what else I think too? I got a glimpse. Now I don't know if y'all saw it. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I got a glimpse into the Ronnie before jail. Like we towards the end of the night, Ronnie seemed like he was letting his guard down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Or did it's not me?
No, I don't necessarily think he was letting his guard down. I think he was more comfortable. For the first time, we see him actually comfortable in the narrative that he controls. You know, with Unique, he felt like he didn't have control. I think in this environment with these thugsters, he feels like he the man again.
Yeah.
So
I
agree with that. I agree with that. He feels like I'm back in that top spot again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it just at the end of that party, he seemed less
aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit.
He was borderline giddy. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you. He can't wait for Rock to see that picture. You ain't lying.
Yeah, he can't wait for Rock to see that picture. She gonna get it in the mail.
It's gonna be hand delivered.
It's gonna be hand delivered. It's gonna be on her doorstep when she open the door.
I was gonna say it's gonna be hand delivered. You know, everybody know where she live at.
Yeah, everybody know where she live at.
Everybody know where she live at. It's gonna be hand delivered.
This man right here drinking and thinking. He drinking and thinking so bad, listening to that song he just recorded. And he sees a premonition of Scrappy.
Maybe it's me. Let me go out. Maybe it's me.
No, it's not
y'all
you.
know-
It's not you, really. Be
Not you.
Oh, okay.
um again, maybe he's just riddled by guilt with the whole situation with Scrappy, but we've kind of beat that horse dead already. But it's just, you know, he's in his mind. He's in his own mind. And his mind is telling him that he needs to go and relieve himself of this guilt by going to talk to Scrappy's mom. And we know that was a big mistake.
I don't know
We
what
didn't
he
do
was
her
thinking.
any favors.
Is it just me, or am I the only one that felt like those two cops bust those pipes?
Yeah, they did.
They absolutely bust those pipes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Rock gets a call from one of her tenants, which is the beauty shop. She gets a call from one of her tenants about there's a water leak in the basement. And the lady, she told the lady, well, what you calling me for? Call the plumber. She was like, that's the landlord job to call the plumber. And she was like, okay, I'll deal with it. So Marvin happens by and sees that Rock's truck is parked out front. So he stops to see, what's going on or whatever the case may be. Rock then again tells him that, she's struggling with this being an old landlord thing, that this ain't the move for her. And she pretty much feels like, listen, I was good at this work. This work right here, I'm not good at. So, I might as well get back in the game because this ain't working for me.
Somebody earlier in the episode, I think it was Supporting Gaming, was saying that Rock was lazy, one little thing, and she back in the game. I don't really think it's that. I think, one, it's not as easy as people think it is to walk away when that's all you've ever done and all you've ever known. Also, part of her reason for wanting to walk away was Kanan. The fact that he's gone and she can't control him, she can't reel him in. And going back to what Miss Honey said, she know he up to something, but she don't feel like she got enough teeth in the game right now to stop it or control it. I think that had a lot to do with it. I think Unique being gone. I think whatever this is between her and Ronnie, I think it was a lot of elements. I don't think it was just because she had to call a plumber. I think going legit ain't all that she thought it was going to be cracked up to be. And
Right.
she's bored. She's like a housewife. She's what is Rock doing all day long up there in the suburbs? Like, what is she doing?
And she's in that big old house by herself.
Right. Kanan's up there. She ain't got a man.
Unique was a distraction for her. Now that's gone.
Right. Unique was a distraction, but now he's gone, and he's not only is he gone, she know he's not coming back. So it's not even like she can even say, well, he'll be back. No, he ain't coming back. So I don't think it's so much that she's lazy, so much as I just think it's I think it's all those elements rolled into one.
And they all coming down on her at one time. And you know what? Bump this, muck this. I'm finna go back to what I know. And I know this work.
Yep.
Which we all knew that anyway.
Testing.
Go ahead, Miss Honey.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I agree with both of you. I do. I agree with everyone. It's weird, but I do think it's, her being out of the game has probably hurt her a lot more than her being in the game in terms of what's going on in her own community. Like, the whole point in you getting out was to help Kanan, but your being out is not helping Kanan, especially since you know that there is a serial killer that lives on y'all boulevard.
And there's no progression.
Yeah.
There's no progression.
Yeah. What did Howard say? Howard say cats is dropping out in these streets. And that's no lie. And
are you scared you're going to be next? Instead of her running away from that, she's running back to it.
Yeah, your son is blocks from it. You moved into suburbia with no driveway, garage, and or carport, but your son is in the heart of it.
So she goes down to
But I also think that's part of it is I got to get back in the game to protect us, because I think it goes back to what Howard said. Like, they drop it left and right. Are you scared? And remember the voiceover at the beginning of the episode. Isn't that what 50 Cent was saying at the beginning of the episode about fear and all of that? I think it goes back to that. Like, I don't think she's so much scared. Like, but I think it is I'm too far away from the game. And
I don't have control.
It's this Ronnie thing. And with Kanan, I think she's just too far out of the game, and she feels like she's lost control of everything. She's lost control with Lou, her son. Now Unique is gone. Ronnie, even if there's no sinister history between her and Ronnie, there is a history between her and Ronnie. Yeah. And I just think it's all of those things. I think all of that is just a factor in it.
What's crazy is they're so much alike, Rock and Kanan. So much alike. At the moment he's getting into the game, she's getting back in the game and immediately becomes his competition.
Right. So Rock goes down to the fish shop to speak with Stefano. Stefano is happy to see the mailman. And I don't know. I'll just keep your eye on Giorgio. Keep your eye on Giorgio. I don't know. I think Giorgio is the one that's talking. I think he's the one that's doing the talking. I don't know.
Somebody at the door. Hold my call. Giorgio.
Yeah. Giorgio just don't. Something about Giorgio ain't sitting right with me. Something about him ain't sitting right. So he take them out back, and she pretty much tells him that she wants to take over Unique's operation. He's like, listen, make up your mind. You in or you out? Because if I let you back in this go round,
that's it.
That's it.
Xavier is crazy.
He got every right to be suspect too about it, because come on.
Yeah.
Now.
This the game though. It could be anybody. Anybody could be the snitch. This is the really tough part of the game.
I don't think little Linguini gonna get cooked yet. He hasn't really done anything to deserve to be cooked per se. He's not really coming across as a villain. Believe it or not, he's not really coming across a villain, because it was Sal's group that put the hit out on Rock because of what happened with his son up there with Tony D. But Stefano hasn't really bothered them. To me, I think it's the other way around. Stefano going to end up being an ally with Rock, because if they take out Joaquin and Juliana, that's it. Dean's already gone. Unique's gone. There's no competition. So the only other competition to eliminate right now is going to be Juliana and Kanan. So I think Rock is going to get back into this, and she's going to show Kanan that I'm better than what you think I am. So you think you got this thing licked over here with Ronnie? I'm going to show you how it's done. Because, keep in mind, that whole thing that she was doing in the Baisley in the place in New Jersey, that was genius. So, she know how to move this work. So I think Ronnie and them going to have a run for their money with competing with Rock. But I also believe that Stefano is going to be an ally against her in taking out some of these threats that she got. But Marvin told him, like, listen, my sister wasn't iffy when you had us put this work in for you, so what's up? So I like how Marvin stepped up and defended her.
Yeah, I did too. And the way he was turning his head and listening and peeping, I was like, Marvin is a rider, man.
Yeah, he's like the postman delivers again. He had you under a barrel. He's like, yeah, my sister put that work in for you. You wasn't hesitant about that. So let us get this work. I'm trying to figure out, Katie, you still sleeping on the floor. You don't put Famous out. You got the whole pump sleeping on this dirty mattress in this Roach Motel. And there's an
angry, aggressive knock at the door.
Non-stop.
It woke everybody up. It woke Palomar up, and she moved 2 months ago.
You're like, Famous, get the door. That right there was a clue. He gonna miss Famous. He gonna end up missing Famous. He already looking for him. First night out, he don't put him out.
Famous, right, come on, your Fame, get the door. Ain't no Fame.
Ain't no Fame no more. And you're gonna miss him even more after he's unalive next week. So Famous is out at the end of the season. If he don't go next episode, he's gone. He's gone episode 9. Episode 9 or 10, he's out of here.
There's no room for pearl clutchers, and Famous is a notorious pearl clutcher. He's always clutching his pearls.
Well, there's nothing else for his character. There's nowhere else for his character to go. It's just spiraling downhill. I mean, he don't put the song out. He don't got a place to live now. I mean, he don't want to sell work. So I mean, what other purpose does
He's definitely not gonna fit in with the Ronnie dynamic at all.
So I mean,
At
to
all.
me, they're making it where they're
His
playing.
day is numbered.
Yeah, his days are numbered.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's so
his days.
powerful.
You can count his days.
Yeah. Listen,
Well,
Ronnie.
once the song drops, it's definitely a wrap.
Oh, I
Oh,
hope
yeah,
the song
absolutely.
don't drop.
So
I
you
think Lou
think
gonna
he
put
gonna
it
get- I
out.
think he's
Lou
gonna
gonna put
end
it
up
out
getting
because
roped
he's
up.
gonna be
If
blinded.
Ronnie don't take him out, if Ronnie doesn't smother him with a pillow or asphyxiate him, he's out. Either he's gonna get locked up.
Does
Yeah.
it bother anybody that Ronnie asked for his bag back after all his deliveries?
Man, that bag been going everywhere.
It's like a happy birthday bag. If you're just gonna throw it away, I'll take it back.
That's his OCD or something. He
Yeah,
just
because
kind of like.
he had unique jewelry in it. He had unique jewelry in it at one point. Then he had the money in it at one point. Now he got to work with it. You're right. That bag is a.
Let me go and get that back.
Let me get that bag
is
back.
a support animal. It's a support animal for it.
Emotional support animal.
Probably his imaginary friend. He seemed like he had an imaginary friend when he was younger.
But anyway, he pulled those bricks of H out for Kanan. Kanan go get his pager, so let's get to work. So this right here let me know that a conversation was had, something was had, because all of a sudden now we bring up Marvin. All of a sudden now we bring up the whole unaliving of Tony Deep. That to me was too coincidental. I felt like Gerald getting that information about Tony Deep got cascaded out to someone else.
And why are you asking him, Howard, when Marvin's got a record?
Yeah, you should be able to pull his rap sheet.
Right.
But that's all part of tripping Howard up. To me, that's what I'm saying. All that is
It
just
seems so obvious.
to trip Howard up. They're setting a trap for him.
Yeah.
They're putting a little cheese on a trap, and he just nibbling at it. Howard gonna be like I keep saying. Howard gonna be the one to take the fall for all this. That's how we're gonna get rid of him.
Now
It's
that's
gonna be
possible.
interesting. It's gonna be interesting how he alerts Marvin and Rocknam to this. How Marvin gonna get out of this? Do you think Marvin end up getting locked up? Do you think that's what ultimately happens to his character, or does he go out in a blaze of glory?
I mean, everything he does, he's thinking of Juke first, taking care of Juke. So I don't know about a blaze of glory. I think all the good he's trying to do now, I think that's what's going to be the worst part, is that it's not enough because of his past. It's going to be for naught. I do think either him going night or him going back to jail is going to be the catalyst. And now I used to think something happened with Juke and Fame and Kanan, but now I realize it's Marvin. Losing Marvin is what's going to kick her over the edge.
Especially depending on how she loses him. I agree. They know that Howard dirty, and they just laying traps for him. Man, Lou. Talk about it, y'all, because I don't even know what to say at this point. If this wasn't the dumbest thing for him to do,
he was so drunk. He was so drunk. I wish they could have shown what she said, because it's hard. It's really difficult to get somebody drunk and this sad out of your presence. I know from personal experience. Like, did she wait for him to go to sleep and she just snuck out? Like, essentially, you sitting here with your son's killer. From what he told her, like, it's just he was so drunk.
To me, my perception of it was he was still trying to hold on to the scrap, unalive himself, but I was there when he unalived him, and I didn't try to stop him. That's the way I got.
He said I should have jumped in between him. That's what he said, right? I should have jumped in between.
Yeah, he said that. But I was under the impression that he was trying to tell his mom that, yeah, I knew this Scrap took his life, but I didn't try to stop him, and I feel so
Nah,
guilty about
I
that.
didn't get that.
I think he was telling
I
her
got the
what
impression.
happened.
I got the impression that he was saying Scrap didn't do that. He was unalived, and I was there and didn't stop it. That's how I took it. I don't know. That's how I took it.
I did too. I didn't understand why his nose was running, but his eyes weren't. That was so weird to me.
You so stupid.
It was so weird. And he's so drunk. Like, if you ever been drunk and just broke down, it's it's a messy business, baby. You
Okay, keep it cute. I wasn't the only one that was thinking that. Yes, I thought that he was saying that, yeah, I know that Scrap was getting ready to take himself. To me, he was trying to tell the story, but still not tell it that Rock was the one that did it, that we were all there when she did it.
Go back and watch it with the captions on.
Okay. Well then, because we see the previews for next week, she went to the police and told the police that her son was unalive.
Just because he said that didn't mean she believed it. Just because he said that.
That's true. I don't know. Okay.
She was suspicious of them in the beginning. Because remember when she rolled up on them? She was like, "What y'all do to my son?"
He did not.
So then what would be the purpose of him going? To say I should have stopped it and I didn't? I don't know. I guess.
No, to me, it's the same thing as saying that we did it.
Oh, I'm definitely going back and watching.
Without saying
I gotta go back and watch it because that ain't how I'm not.
He was mid story when they brought the scene in. Like, he was already talking when they brought the scene in. Okay. Yeah. But it seemed like to me, he was saying he was there and he should have stopped it. He should have put himself in between them. It seemed like, maybe before we got in, he was telling her it was about Rock and them too. Because the look on her face was just crazy.
He's trying to get comfort from this lady. That's what.
Yeah, and he set her up to be night. He did it for himself, but ultimately he didn't do her any favors.
She did go to the police before. I think she already went to the police at one time, and then she had already rolled up on them and said, "What y'all do to my boy?" She was already suspicious of them in the beginning. With Luke coming over there with this drunken banter of his, it just confirmed what her initial suspicions were. She never bought the whole idea that he unalived himself to begin with. So Lou's fake confession just further confirmed for her, yeah, y'all had something to do with my boy. He's drunk, and keep in mind, Miss Hunter, you're right. He's drunk out of his mind. So what he thinks he's saying is going to bring him relief for how he's feeling. But at the end of the day, all he's doing is creating a bigger mess for them.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have took his ass over there. Sent the lady an anonymous letter.
Ugh.
Yeah, she wrote up.
Again, put that in the same place you done put all them other people that you done unalive. Like, bruh, go sit down.
You sure didn't have no problems with asphyxiating Crown to death with that mic cord.
Okay.
To me, this was more shocking than unique, in my opinion. It shocked me way more than the unique situation. Like, I felt like I saw the unique situation coming, especially at the Chinese restaurant. This right here,
Not Bad Dog 2020.
it's the far-reaching effects of what Lou has done here. Man,
he really did unalive Crown over nothing. That's what you need to be crying about, because that man didn't do nothing to you. What you unalived him for?
Asking for money.
Right, he should have went in the studio, laid down some tracks. All right, let's see what's going on next week. Juke is once again confronting Kanan about his behavior.
I gotta go, y'all. Everybody have a good one. I'll catch y'all later.
Really?
See you later. Juke is confronting Kanan about his behavior. She trying to figure out what's going on with you, what's up with you. We see that she goes and tells Rock. She goes and tells Rock that, listen, Kanan is out of control. Something going on with him.
Is that a Fendi sweater?
It is a Fendi sweater. It's dope too. Or it looks like it's like a half jacket or something like that. Rock be wearing a Fendi.
She love a quarter length.
So what do you think Rock's reaction to this is going to be? when Jukebox tells her that Kanan is out here wilding. How do you think Rock's going to respond to that?
I don't know. It's hard to say. If Rock is nothing, she's unpredictable, which is makes her more dangerous than anybody, in my opinion. I do think now we're gonna see a more ruthless Rock. She's gonna have to be. She's not just trying to get her son back in her house from over at Fames. She's gonna be trying to get her son back from the streets.
You know what? Our premonition may be coming true because this looks like Juke is going over to Kanan's place to try to see Kanan, and there's some thugsters posted out in the hallway or whatever, not even letting her through.
Kanan got more thugsters than Rock.
Yep. And they're confronting Famous next week. I'm scared for him.
Why would Fame be back there?
Maybe coming to try to reach out to Kanan. Maybe he's still an olive branch.
Maybe.
Yo, Kanan, I messed up. My bad. Can you let me back in the house? I ain't got nowhere to go. Type deal. And Ronnie's going to be there.
So I said I had a question. Let me just ask it real quick. How many more seasons of Raising Kanan do you think we'll have? Because he's already at that point where he's, almost 17, 18. We know there's some point where he goes to jail, and then when he comes out, he's in the original power. Like, he's a grown A man with a son and all of that. So how many more seasons legitimately do you think we have of Raising Kanan?
That's a good question. 3.
Okay.
The reason why I say 3 is because I can't see any of the spinoffs going past the OG show. The OG went up to 6 seasons. So I'm thinking maybe 6 is where they cut off at on all of them.
That's a good point.
Because really, 3 more seasons, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to happen. 10 episodes per season. That's a lot to happen in 3 more seasons. So I think if we go 3 more seasons, that takes us exactly to the age point where we would need to be.
Okay.
Duke and Kanan.
All right.
But to be quite honest with you, I'm going to be probably the saddest about this one going as I was with OG Power. I'm not going to be ready to see this one go.
Yeah. I mean, making it a period piece it was just a perfect setting. Like, they just had so much to work with here. I love every minute of it.
And there, you know what? This could go on a lot longer, to be quite honest with you, because they got so many different stories that they could tell with this. We still got to meet young Tommy, young Ghost. We got to see a little bit of them transition into this world. They can run it where we meet young Tasha, young Lakeisha, young Angela. I mean, we can get a whole season of just the the Ghost and Angela dynamic.
Yeah.
So they have a whole lot that they could tap into to keep it going for a little bit longer to get us up to the age point that they were at in OG Power.
Yeah. Who is Ronnie talking to here?
Famous.
Oh, okay.
He's threatening Famous or shaking up Famous. Poor Famous.
Oh.
Y'all, I wish Really B was still here so I could argue with her. Ronnie is not Breeze. Why would they do that? Has Power ever introduced us to a character that's been another character? Like, typically when they introduce us to new characters, they are that character that they are introduced as. I've never known for them, with the exception of Milan. Milan is the only character that they've ever introduced to us that's been one character that turned out to be another character. But what is the point of introducing Ronnie as Ronnie and then turning him into Breeze?
I don't see it either.
It don't make sense. Kanan became Slim to manipulate Tariq, but he wasn't introduced to us as Slim. He was always introduced to us as Kanan. He used that Slim thing to manipulate Tariq, but we still knew who he was. We knew that he was Kanan even when he was pretending to be Slim. But this is different. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? Especially with Breeze being the type of character he is. To me, that would take away from both characters. It would take away from Ronnie's character, and it would take away from what our expectations are for Breeze. It's too convenient to turn Ronnie into Breeze.
I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see it.
I can't
I
see
think
it
we
either.
just want it to be so.
We want it to be so, but it's just like with all the people that Tariq learned from. Tariq learned from a lot of different players, and I think this Ronnie taking his time with Kanan to teach him some things. But ultimately, I think when Kanan goes to work with Breeze, he's already ruthless. He's already trained. I don't think Breeze is the trainer. I think Ronnie is the trainer. Rock has been a trainer. Marvin has been a trainer. Lulu has been a trainer. Jukebox has been a trainer. I think he's learned a lot from a lot of people. I don't think he's going to learn everything he's learned from Ronnie or Breeze. I think when he goes to
No.
Breeze, he's already going to be out there in them streets.
I don't think who Ronnie is sustainable. I just
Not
don't
with
think so.
not with the way that he developed his character. I agree.
No, he's not. It's not sustainable. He doesn't have longevity at all. Somebody's gonna have to put this rabbit dog down at some
That's why
point.
I don't see him making it out this season. If he makes it into season 4, it's a couple episodes. I don't see Ronnie's character. Okay, we've had a whole season of him doing this. I don't want to see another season of Ronnie like this. It's boring at this point. I don't know what's going on with Lou. I think this is where Marvin rolls up on Lou and tell Lou that you don't made a mess, that you got to go clean up. Howard is probably going to meet with Rock and tell
He look
Rock,
like he can't wait to tell it.
yeah, that listen, after your brother Marvin, y'all got to do something. Oh no, this is when he goes to tell Rock about Lou, about
Yeah,
Scrap's mom coming down into that precinct.
yeah.
He takes a statement from her. Yeah. And it's good that she went and talked to Howard and not anyone else, because if she would have took that information to one of them alphabet boys, they would have really had something to latch on to.
I
So
mean,
it's good she took it to Howard, because if it went to anyone else, Rock is probably going to tell Marvin, listen, your brother out here wilding. You got to go clean this mess up.
oh man, next week is gonna be, it's gonna be
I saw that.
dramatic.
I saw that Marvin going to put hands on Lou.
I mean, from the fame situation to the situation at the end, like it's almost like he's subconsciously trying to undo Rock,
Yeah.
trying to get rid of Rock, trying to punish Rock, not realizing it's gonna rope the whole family up under the
Y'all don't, see
guise
this,
of making himself feel better.
y'all don't see this right here with Juliana and Ronnie. He don't took them glasses off. I'm telling you, he finna take her down. He finna bust her down.
I mean, she gonna buzz him down.
Look, she got that Tahitian treat sitting on the coffee table. Listen, I'm telling you, it's gonna
Oh,
go
I was
down.
going to say something real not
Oh, you can go
cool,
there, Miss
but
Honey. You know you don't act like that, Miss Honey.
he's special needs, and you know what they say about special needs.
He is special needs, isn't he? It looked like Jukebox and Candy got a little smoke right here. Like she do get through. It looks like she do get through because she's in the apartment.
Yeah,
like
this
she
is why I
had
asked
words.
about their age difference, because up until this point, he kind of has been like, okay, Jude, you're the older cousin, and I listened to you. But she's finna see. She's finna see, just like Fame thought. This ain't the same. This ain't the same Kanan.
Oh, Xavier, that's a good point. They might have some arguments over Aisha too, but I think she's gonna confront him about this business. And especially when she see them thugsters out there in the hallway, she's definitely gonna have questions for Kanan about what is all this going on? What's going on over here? Why are you working with Ronnie? So they may even get into a little tussle. So we see Marvin peer pressuring Lou again, and then the dichotomy in this and the ironicness of this. What he's upset about and crying about, now you got to go back out and do it again. Now you got to go take out another innocent person because of your own actions.
Well, like you said, he may end up unaliving himself, and this may be why.
Because he had to go take that lady out or scrap mama out.
It's better for him. I won't say it's better, but he may feel like it's better for him not to be here because everything is just imploding at the same time. He's got a good thing going on with this club. So he may just get in and do what he got to do with Scrap's mama, but this is gonna be bad, you guys.
Yeah, ain't gonna end well. It ain't gonna end well. All right, so that's next week. Looks like we're gonna have a really good episode next week. I can't wait. What you think, honey?
I mean, I'm excited about this season. I think I told you before, this season has just beginning to end. Every episode has just been giving. And I'm just not ready. I think I wish we could get just like 2 more episodes added on to this season. Like, it's just going so good. At the same time, oh man, I'm worried about Marvin. I'm worried about Jude. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about Lou.
Yeah.
So that's the only drawback, is that we're gonna lose some people. And typically we lose fodder, people we don't really care about one way or another. Like, who was caring about Cartier? I didn't even see the point in Cartier, but we're getting to this place where we're gonna lose people that we've grown to really, really love and enjoy.
Starting with Lou. Starting with Famous.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the hard part. But everything else, I'm just loving it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for this week. Y'all make sure y'all drop y'all comments down there in the comment section. We want to keep these conversations going. When we get the exclusive picks tomorrow, we'll go ahead and drop them out on the channel for you guys to see those. And we will be back to talk to you all next Sunday, 6 o'clock. We'll be here. Miss Honey, you got anything else?
Take care, everybody. Thank you guys for engaging in the chat. It was really, really fun.
All right. We will see y'all next week.